You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box here on Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world, Sunday afternoon. Well, let's just say at any given point during the day, it's noon somewhere on the planet. So it's always noon, and it's always exactly right now. I don't care what time you have. Anyway, thanks for joining us here at the Emerald Table at criticalmassradio.co.uk. Outside Box, yours truly, Kate of Gaia. Thanks again last night for Ninja and Paul and everybody that jumped in on the call. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to listen to it today, nor was I able to dial it in last night. It was just a bit noisy where I was. Well, we'll just leave it at that. I'll have a chance to listen back. And, of course, great job all around by everybody, as always. So, where are we going to go tonight? We've got a few things that I want to discuss. I'm going to, and don't worry, guys, I'll give you plenty of heads up regarding Babylon Has Fallen, which we read strictly and specifically for video editing. So I'll give you plenty of time. As I understand it, someone's going to be recording it on the fly so that it's ready to go. I will do my best to keep it nice and concise, give you breathing room between the paragraphs, and read it slower than I would normally read it, just because I do have a tendency of reading quickly. That being said, I got to tell you, it's like the universe has taken a huge constipated dump with all the shitiots and shills and idiots coming out of the woodwork. Just when you think, that's exactly when you go, wait a minute, okay, more purging. Apparently, according to someone's incredible intuition that and gut instinct and contemplate. 3 years ago, apparently, I am an intel agent. Well, yeah, it's intel inside. The kingdom of heaven is within, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, Arthur Christian, you really just need to grow up a little bit, my friend. If you're digging a nice big hole for yourself. I think if there was any respect I had left for you, it left with that comment. And when you start talking about your ancestors are telling you, buddy, stop listening to fucking dead people. Okay, that's your problem. It's called program. But anyway, Arthur and Fiona into their little delusions, and that's okay. Much love to them anyway. It's fine, by the way, if anyone wants to hijack what would be deemed my work and make it theirs, because that's exactly what I want. You see, truth is not for sale. It is certainly not for taking credit for. It is not for claiming as yours and getting all fucking ego offended because, someone took the truth and made it theirs and it's all, you moron. That's the whole point of this, right? And this is exactly why humanity has been dumbed down for so long, because this kind of shit's been going on. And up until not that long ago, I was part of that as well. To a greater or lesser degree, it doesn't really matter. It's upon the realization that you have been running inside a program, and then when it finally really kicks in and clicks in, and you understand the separation of the ego from you, and it really is profound, and until you see it for yourself, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is why we talk about the same things and keep it going every single night to get this through. The simplest spot, the ego, is emotional reaction to things, right? So, excuse me, Fluffy's not in the mood tonight. I got to tell you, she's been shot a whole lot of backbones. Apparently, some of these people are spineless out there now, and Fluffy's she's just not interested. She's if I listen to her outright, I think the woofing that she was doing was she's tired of eating asshole all the time. So there you go. See, she does bark. But anyway, it's all good. Funny how that works. Almost like the universe is talking through us, right? Because it is. But anyway, so that's the Arthur digging myself a great big crater in the universe. Mr. Christian, of course he's a mutineer. Mutiny on the bounty. Well, buddy, get back on the real bounty, because anyone that's still looking at New World Order and they're going to kill you and all the rest of it has still got their head so far up their egotistical ass. Sorry, buddy, that's the wrong Uranus you're looking at. Uranus is in the higher heaven, not where you're sticking yours. But anyway, it's all good. No harm, no foul. And you see, the whole thing is, I think it was about a month and a half ago, I specifically said I'm going out to get goats. I'm out to get people's goats, and I'll tell you, they're going to come out of the woodwork and hate me or love me. I don't give a shit. You get to the table, because I'll tell you, if someone bitches enough about me, they're going to come and have a look at the work that we're doing, and they'll see it for themselves. And if they don't, that's not my problem. It's there, and it's a really simple thing. See, this is a problem with this truth and all truth. When you really get down to the nitty gritty, the question that you will ask yourselves is, how could it be so simple that everything is completely and solely tied, and I mean solely, literally, to the legal name? That if we consent to be that, we're allowing all the vampires and werewolves, quite literally, into our reality. The allegory is quite simple. Imagine your soul, you, the infinite essence of you. Soul's not even really a good word for it, but you know what I mean by when I say that true essence of you. Imagine you are that beautiful, infinite, all-knowing computer. Everything that you have and can create is within this beautiful essence of you. We'll make it a computer so you can kind of put it in the physical sense. And that computer is password protected. It also has a backdoor password, but you didn't know it. You see, the true password, the true name, is that frequency, that very high-pitched frequency. When you get into the stillness, the deep, dark, get quiet, when you get into that headspace, you will actually hear your name. That frequency is the unspeakable name of God, or the little spark of the all-spark that we all are. That's why the name of God is unspeakable. You cannot say it. It's physically impossible for the human body to hit that frequency. The vocal cords just can't do it. Frequency is so high you wouldn't hear it anyway. So imagine that's your real name. And what's happened is that name, the real name of you, that no one can know or no one can hear, and you can't say it, has been usurped with a legal name, which has become the backdoor password to your soul. And every time you give that name out or accept consent to being it, you've said, here's my password, drain me. And this is so unbelievably simple. This is the hardest part about what we do at this table every single night. This truth is so incredibly simple, so easy, and is so incredibly unbelievable because of that. When you get outside of the box, and I'm talking the physical meat stick reality that people like Arthur Christian and so many others are still stuck in, looking for the gimmies, the bonds and the trusts and the funds and all the rest of that monetary lure that has their soul baited and buried. When you get outside of that and you start looking at it from an anagogic, or for lack of a better word, spiritual perspective, the essence of you looking at it, the pure cause that you are. When you start understanding what's really going on a much higher level, remember, as above, so below. That you are a thinking, sentient being with that frequency going off says that you are essence, life itself. And life itself is the only thing that can see death itself, and that's what this consciousness, these dark entity aspects are. They're death. That's why they deal in death. That's why they love death. They love slaughtering animals. They love slaughtering each other. They love watching humanity slaughter itself. And they invoke it all the time, and that, of course, that's all ingrained in the emotional program called the ego. If you can get people riled up enough to follow this flag or that flag, basically cloth that's not worthy to wipe my ass with, it's just a fucking rag, and people swear allegiance to a rag. Okay, seriously, head across your chest, and yeah, give up your soul, you moron. Better yet, go to the places where the Baal priests love to worship. You probably know them as the Roman Church. And I don't care what church, synagogue, or mosque you are in on this planet, or whatever denomination. You know what mine is, right? Denomination. That's why it's called a denomination. You're all serving the dark principality because everything is being taught backwards here. So you are serving the physical master, the Luciferian aspect of saying you're God, and I am part of. I am not separate from. You see, when you think of yourself as separate from, that whole essence of individualization compartmentalizes you away from the reality of all in one, one in all. So I merely accept all things, stand in universal truth, and move forward. Universe delivers accordingly. And no, it's not an easy place to stand at first, but I tell you, once you stand there for a little bit and you see the magic, there's nowhere else you'd want to be. It doesn't matter whatever trials and tribulations come your way, because you know you can handle it. And the biggest joke about that is the bad shit just stops happening. Shields up, and it's really this simple. So, excuse me, for anyone that is concerned about anything regarding court, it's all a joke. And I really wish some people would get this, especially the high profilers. Excuse me, I will say this. I got word that Mark Stevens, a man who I have long admired for his work and his dauntless fearlessness, and just getting right down to the nitty-gritty logic and everything else, is no longer promoting any form of legal remedy. It seems to me the man is right on the ball, as usual. And like I said, I've had so many people that have fallen off in recent, people like Arthur Christian and so on. I find it disappointing that these people, in their supposed brilliance and intelligence, miss the most basic thing. I guess they forgot that they're a spiritual essence. I guess they've never been to a funeral to see an empty cocoon that doesn't have spiritual essence in it to know the difference. That you are either a meat stick or a spirit. I mean, that's a good example of if you want to really observe it. And for those that may not have a funeral to go to, well, head down to the local funeral and get a visual on what a cocoon looks like without a driver in it. You're the driver. You're the power of it. You see, and the other thing about these dark principality aspects is these death lovers, death eaters, death givers. That's all they do. That's all they know. It's death and destruction. The only way they can survive is by getting the consent of those that can provide all the energy they need. That is the living soul or the living essence of the true life consciousness, which, for lack of a better word, the aspect of creation, himself, herself, itself. Right? So, excuse me, if you go back to the movie The Matrix, when Neo, you remember the scene where Neo stood up out of that gelatinous shit that he was floating around in, completely asleep with all the tubes in him. What you're doing when you lose the legal name is that's the moment that you're pulling all of the lines that are sucking the life out of you and feeding on you. That's the instant you pull them out. And what's really hard for people to understand, or even never mind understand, but to actually believe, and then get to the point of knowing. See, that I know this, and there are many others that know this too. And
hello, all. I don't know if you can hear Kate. I can at the moment, and I hope we do. See if any other mics are open. Okay, aloha all. Thanks for tuning into the Emerald Table.
Okay, hey, there you go. Sorry, I got bounced there, Mike. That's why I unmuted your microphone. So let me just finish off my little rant here, and then I'm going to read Babylon Has Fallen for video editing purpose, and then we're going to go to town on this to really drive this point home. I've got a few emails I want to share as well, so we'll do that tonight as well. Cool with you?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay. Yeah, if you hear me drop off, I'm going to be displaying a lot of truth tonight, so expect a little bit of interference from the energies. I'll just keep it centered so it doesn't happen, but there you go. If you don't hear me, if I suddenly stop talking, then just jump in and have some fun. But in the meantime, let's get back to the whole Neo and the Matrix, unplugging yourself from the Matrix. See, that is a physical allegory of the spiritual reality. You see, while you think, excuse me, while you think in a physical sense, you will never understand it. People will talk about, well, they're stealing my energy through money and taxing and all the rest of it. Yes, that's the physical effect of your spiritual ignorance. And the only reason that they can get away with it is because you're letting them. And the contract hinges on one thing and one thing only. It hinges on the name. It goes back to the Narmer palette. I've also removed quite a few people out of my Facebook. I found a lot of dead accounts, and I also found a lot of dead heads that I just removed because I just don't want to be connected to those that are selling legal remedies and all the rest of it. The list goes on. And I did want to bring up a couple of points about Carl Lentz. Peter Eugene, and a few others. And it's nothing personal. They can take it personal all they want. I'm here to get a fucking goat, and if it gets your goat and gets them actually talking, great. Bring it on, bitch. I'm here to play. But the bottom line is this. If you're looking at any truth guru, legal guru, and they're still talking from the perspective of they have a legal name, you're dealing your energy to, lack of a better term, Satan, okay? Because while someone is connected to the system with the legal name, anything you do and associate with them, you're connected to them, therefore in contract, just like a bank manager is a contract with the bank that they're working for and the board of directors. That's how they've been able to connect to steal your home. Remember, you lend the money or the energy, you make a promise to the living entity, which is the bank manager or loans officer. It's sealed with a DNA touch, right? Everything legal is about forensic. Look it up. I am really just tired of stating facts, and if you can't understand the facts, then you better start just fucking looking it up for yourself. Because I really get tired of people that haven't went through my stuff and haven't really spent the time or any time listening or looking while they're busy creating diatribes, lengthy fucking ego outbursts, all the rest of it, which is just retarded. And other people taking their silly little pot shots, which is funny as hell because it just tells me who you are. Apparently, not that it matters, figure who it was, it said that my work is for the birds. Absolutely it is. That's the EB, the higher mind, versus, and I love truth because you can pull it out of everything. And, I'd like to thank the reptilian brainstem thinker that sent that. So thank you very much, Reptoid. Enjoy your round trip, merry-go-round. Not that that's something I would do, and I certainly don't wish it upon you, but it looks like you're wishing it on yourself anyway. So what the hell can I do about it? Nothing. Okay. So it's really quite simple. If you are in agreement with someone that has still got a legal name, this is why my contracts are clean right now. I just wipe the board clean, and I do not contract with anyone at all because I don't know where they're at. And remember, gravity falls, trust no one. And it's not a matter of personal trust. It's just simply a matter of completely and only trusting self. Because you're the only one at the end of the day you can trust once you get rid of the ego. Because I'll tell you, if you've got an ego, you can't trust yourself either because you're still not dealing with the true essence of you. Okay, so any of these individuals that are professing a legal remedy of any kind, I don't care if they're saying it's a common law remedy, it's this and that and the other. There is no. Let me make it really clear for everybody. Okay, there is no such fucking thing. Legal remedy is the same as the tooth fairy, the Easter bunny, the guy in the red suit jumping down chimneys, and all of the other fictitious things that have come throughout your life to convince you that somehow they're real. Okay, so that's what legal land is all about. Anyone that is selling any form of, quote, legal remedy, unquote, is no better and no different than a fucking lawyer. They charge for keeping people in the illusion. So tell me what's different about someone that's selling remedy. It's nonsense. Snake oil salesman. Just demonic. And of course, this rattles the cages of those that are still looking to suck off the Cronus and mow down on the old saggy, gray, poison, pus-filled tits of the whore of Babylon. Drink your fill. The advice was quite clear to me. Get out of her, my children. Get out of Babylon. And the only thing keeping you attached to Babylon is the legal name. That's it. And that's why I'm going to be reading Babylon Has Fallen very shortly here. So I'll give you a little bit of a countdown. So if you are recording, and I will do my best to keep it as pure as I can, as far, for video editing purposes. So, and again, thanks guys for all the work you're doing. We've got Babylon Has Fallen in so many languages now. Some of them, from some feedback, will need tweak, but that's, what, it doesn't matter. It's a simple fact that you know what this stuff is, that it's getting out there, and every language it gets translated into affects the entire consciousness of that language upon sending anywhere, right? Upon its creation, it's already done. This is the power that you wield. When you stand in truth, it is a very, very powerful wielding of Thor's mighty hammer, okay? Remember, only those deemed worthy can pick that hammer up. And I see hammers across this planet getting picked up. So very well done, everybody, and I cannot be more grateful. A couple of things I'm just going to go quickly over, then I'll get into reading. Deb, thanks so much for the poem that you sent, and I did post it on Facebook for you. For anyone that wants to see that, if I get a chance, I will read it tonight. Where we go. Okay, I just want to let me see, what have we got? Here we go. This is an email in. I just want to share it's some of the stuff that I get on a daily basis. So I like to pull these things out and share with you guys the realities that are shifting across this planet. This one came in from Gerald. Gerald B., thank you so much, my friend. And yes, I do read the emails, and I do get around to answering them eventually, or I talk about them or read them on air and give my answer there. So I try to get as much done as I can, because I do want people to know that I am here, I am available, I am accessible, because how the hell are you going to get to our table if I can't make myself accessible to make sure that you get there? And that's all that matters to me. I'm just a dot connector. I connect people and I connect concepts. That's all I do. That's my job. I feel like Chicky at the one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy telephone operator, but that's cool. I love doing that because apparently that's one of my spirit tricks, so it's all good. So this one from Gerald. Excuse me. Hi, Kate. We haven't met or talked before, but I thought I'd go ahead and write this anyways. I happened to find your site seemingly by accident. I think I read this one before, but I want to share this with you guys. There's another one as well. Simply because you're the only one I have ever come across that fully understands the key to doing phonetic etymological word splitting. I've been doing work on this process for 2 years now, and it was almost as if an unseen guide kept pushing me in the direction of first word splitting and eventually into the deep etymology and phonetic aspects that are so necessary to finding the deep connections within the language world. I've read some of your writings and intend to go through them all. I'm astounded at how many connections you have shown to the public that exactly match my findings. I only say astounded because, quite frankly, there is really no one else doing this. And a feather in your cap, Gerald, okay, because the fact that you see it means that you see it. This is why I don't claim to be truth and, that was mine, because I don't claim ownership of anything. Why would I claim ownership of something when I'm part of all things? It just doesn't make sense to me. And so equally astounded on my part, because when people see this, it is beyond miraculous when they do see that. Now, I could go on with this email. I've already read this before, but I wanted to make sure that people like Gerald and others get their say on the air, whether they tune into the table or not. It is beyond joyous to watch people awake. Guys, you have no idea what it does to me. It's such a rush. I can hardly wait for tomorrow with this apparent meeting at White School with all the kids that are refusing to answer to the name. This one came in today from Paul, and brand new contact, actually. Dear Kate, I listened to your show on podcast the next day as it starts at midnight here on the Isle of Man. I've seen the Isle of Man from the air, flown over it a few times. My Uncle Ted and Aunt Maureen used to tour over to the Isle of Man every summer on their Heinkel scooters. Yes, Heinkel. The German company that used to make bombers? Yeah, anyway, they were really cool scooters. But the Isle of Man I'm very familiar with. Okay, a small island in the middle of the Irish Sea, just above Liverpool in the UK. Yep, gorgeous little island. It's a great place to distribute your writings, as the island is an outpost for the legal financial sector. Yes, it is. And packed with these dead entities in a very small area. Yes, the dead entity ratio to square mile is very, very intense on the Isle of Man. It's not a very big island, so you can just imagine, of course. And it is one of it's more of a holiday island. People use it as a holiday resort to go to, basically the beach away from the beach, right? I've often looked at the Isle of Man as a mini version of Ireland, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, carrying on with Paul's email. I always mused as to why the people around me put little bits of paper before everything else. If you observed them when it came to money matters, it was their god. The more you had, the more respect you get. If you are good and poor, well, you're a loser. If you spend your life shitting on your fellow human and manage to collect many tokens on the way, then you're on their Christmas card list. However, it was a false respect. As if and when the paper flew away, the so-called friends left just as quickly. I've always known something was not right from a fairly young age, but it took me 47 years for the final aha moment when I read Babylon Has Fallen. That nailed it home for me. I think that many people don't connect to the spiritual aspect of things due to their programming. Absolutely agree. Trapped in the material, yep. And I don't believe in the soul. I know due to any out-of-body experiences. Yes, I went through the Alex Jones, me too, David Icke, me too, etc. stages. I can no longer listen to these. It was getting frustrating looping around in the same material with no solutions. You are right when you say fear porn. There is a spiritual battle for our soul that is going on. But say this to most and you get looked at like you're a madman. I love listening to the discussions at the Emerald Table. I have lovely mental images of all the people meeting there, especially Bob and Barnaby on their boat. Thank you for the for the key. Your synopsis show on Babylon Has Fallen is a gem. I've listened to it many times. If anyone was to ask me the moment I woke up, it was when I read this essay. Then the penny truly dropped. I felt a little stupid for it to take so long. Hey, join the club, man. When did I write that? Not that long ago, and I turned 50 in a few weeks. So, got you beat by 3 years, buddy. Anyway, it's all good. See, I was dumber than you for 3 years. It's awesome. Anyway, for the Muppet at GHCQ reading this, wake up, please, Paul. Very well written, Paul. Thank you very much. And yes, the table and the people and the beings and the beautiful lights that show up at this table are exactly the reason this table exists. So it's really the only stable place we have to come as a team to get away from the insanity of the psychobabblers in the Babylonians. Okay, so this place for me is sacred, and the fact that I'm going to speak selfish here, I have somewhere to come and be at peace in a safe place with others of like mind. So this is why we do this together. No one is greater or lesser than anyone else at this table, and this is the point I've been trying to stress all along. This is why when I see diatribes and oh, you're hijacking my work and all this other shite, it's just pure ego, completely divided and conquered, thinking that somehow one has more of a claim over something than someone else. That's exactly how the elites think. That is a caste system. That is feudalism, serf and baron. Okay? They're called barons for a reason. They're there to make you barren. Yeah, they'll rip your fields clear. Okay, so let me see. I know there was. I'm going to go to Deb's email actually, and I'm going to read this out because, well, the table inspired it. So you guys need to know how beautiful you are, and I love sharing this. My favorite thing to say last night when I was in Toronto was, "You're perfect. You've been right your whole life, and I can prove it." What ego can argue with that? Because it is truth. The difference is, I might have had doubts before believing it, but I have none now. You see, I've entered the age of Aquarius where I know these things. I know you're perfect, and I know you've been right your whole life. It's just a level of awareness of that being right that is finally coming into view for all of us. But this one's in from Deb, so she writes this. Hi, I wanted to post this on your Facebook, but it is too long. I don't know how to do it anyway. Copy and paste works a treat. You can actually fit quite a bit on, I've put entire essays on a copy paste there, so feel free. Anybody wants to put any poems and stuff like that on my page, please feel free. Anyway, so back to Deb here. She says, thanks for helping me out of a momentary dark space last night. And this is called The Point, inspired by Kate of Gaia and Friends. Well, let's just say inspired by the table. I feel more comfortable with that. So here it goes. Are you missing the point? Closing your eyes, saying you are standing in church, but failing to realize you are always there, in the middle of church, between the two keys to the temples. That you can speak French too, and it is the same for Thé dans le cathedral. You have to see it written out, guys. Again, this is a show and tell. This is why I love these things. Are you missing the point, saying God gave a book of answers and that God wants to save you, when God does not give anything or want anything, for God is creator and destroyer. And when you look in the mirror, it is always, you are and I am that I am. Are you missing the point? Of the arrow that strikes the heart, whose H removed is also earth, end upon end, whose ear contained within hears, as the vibrations enter the portals and pass through the temple? That the keys around the neck of the Pope are only dangling upon a catenary chain of life that imprisons no body, but only a name. Oh, behind those locked doors is only the papacy, a paper sea. And what is paper? But that it burns. Oh, that when you look into the mirror, there is Aslan, who rises out of the east every dawn and walks across the sea, Leo the lion, the sun, the light that shines within. And what happens when light strikes a mirror? But that it turns to fire. And a sea of water extinguishes fire, but a sea of paper burns. Fire, fire, burning bright in the sinews of the night. You are the immortal hand, the eye that frames that fearful symmetry. And just laugh, okay? Because they are merely names on paper, but you are the knowing, the being between the keys. If you but know it, if you but think it, if you but say it aloud, then light the fire, strike that arrow, and get the point. So very well written, Deb. Again, that was shared on Facebook. I'll share it again. So for those that want to get a hold of me there, you can. And as I was just saying a few minutes ago, I spent a bit of time on my Facebook, quite a bit of time today. It's just a pain in the arse going through this, but I wanted to make room for people that actually do know what's going on. I've got room for 25 people, and I've already put another probably 15 people in today. So there's room for 25 people on my Facebook. So those, and I'm talking genuine people that want to get in the loop and stay in the loop, because I'm just going to be, like I did today, I'm just going to be dumping people that, one, have inactive accounts, and two, are still in selling legal shit and all the rest of it, because I will not contract with any of that at all. And you can get my Facebook at kate.rene.5, KATE.RENE.5. Okay, so that gets, for anyone that's interested in jumping on. I did send out a few friend requests as per suggestions. John Swa, if you could let your friends know that I did send them requests, because if they don't know it's me, and it just creates a hassle. That's why I don't generally take friend suggestions, because if they don't know me and they say no, and do you know this person? No, that basically in the world of fascist book that counts as harassment. So just letting you know. Mm-hmm. All right, so I think we'll get into reading the Babylon is Fallen. Just want to make sure I've got all the essays. This is me buying you time to get set up, okay? All right, so what do we got? It's still an email that I do want to read. I'll probably do that after this. But I'm going to go through Babylon is Fallen. It should only take probably about 10 minutes. And this way you'll have a video-edited version so that you can spread this far and wide. And I think if I actually feel up to it, I might even try saying one, or I would love someone who speaks the other languages to do an oral presentation of reading the essay in that language. That would be absolutely astonishing. And we could get even more videos done. First, Babylon is Fallen video. I'm just going to do a quick check here, because I know it was averaging 1,000 hits a day. Let me just have a look. And again, guys, just the link's right there. Babylon is Fallen on YouTube. Just slam that link around everywhere, because you're signing up for your contract. Once you understand this, you'll start to understand the power. Yeah, we're over 6,000 views on Babylon is Fallen in 6 days. Pretty good. So we're averaging about 1,000 a day. Interesting that it's 6105 and June 15th is my birthday. Isn't that interesting? Imagine that. Hey, yeah, the same day that Magna Carta was signed. Funny that. All right, so if you're all set up for your recording now, I think that's enough time bought. Let's get into Babylon is Fallen. Just take a sip here and clear the clear the throat. For those that are doing the recording, if you do miss anything here, this is approximately the 39th minute. So if you check it at 38 minutes in, that should get you right in the ballpark of the reading of Babylon is Fallen, in case you missed something here. Okay. Here we go. Give you a countdown and everything. 5, 4, 3. Babylon is Fallen by Kate of Gaia. 1. Name. The master key to the entire system's Crown Corporation's game. The name is the linchpin to the entire legal control construct. Without a legal name, which is your consent by agreeing to be said name, the system vampires cannot literally feed on your lifeblood, creation source energy that is typically shown in the physical materials we collect. It is only the consent to be, use, or have a legal name, mark of the beast, that is required for your absolute spiritual contract, deal with the devil motif, to be in full force and effect, with you as a slave and them as master. For proof of this, look and see how much of your life or existence involves a legal name, and you will see the measure of control the system has over you. 2. Register, registration, etc. Any and all things registered are fully surrendered with consent to the Crown Corporation, with no legal recourse until such things are removed by exposing the intent by those who serve the Crown Corporation to commit fraud knowingly or unknowingly. Example: a child that is registered is Crown property by ignorant consent where the truth of registering was not brought forth, which is the original intent by Crown Corporation servants owners to have people offer their children unknowingly into slavery of soul and thus body. It's the soul they're really after, so keep that in mind. 3. Money, gold, silver, assets, Bitcoin, etc. are all illusions of value where you are the true creator of all physical manifestations. Money, external value, has been the tool as a third-party interloper, middleman, that has made draining your power possible. Money or the like only has a value if one has been duped into thinking it does. This illusion is the ultimate distraction and destroyer of creator souls, literally. All money is based on the soul contract, commonly known as a birth certificate. 4. Birth certificate. The original sin contract, the name you think or claim as yours, is not your creation. Your assumed name was created by your parents or family members or adoptive kin, not you. This is an original creation manifested by another that is, in turn, registered, thus rendering it Crown Corporation property, as previously stated. It is upon this deception that your literal soul was and is enslaved, and upon which all money and debt is created. A debt bond value is placed in the birth certificate based on the assumed accruement of taxes, loans, debts a child is expected to pay as long as they are part of this fraud upon humanity. Example: if someone is expected to pay a certain amount of taxes, etc. in their lifetime, the bond is given a debt value. A child born into a wealthy family will have a higher debt bond value than someone who is of a lesser perceived income bracket rating. This is slave trading at its finest, which divides and conquers humanity in the serf caste hierarchy system that encompasses the planet. 5. Command and control. The courts and governments are the system slaves within, bought and paid for, where the true command and control aspects are the police and military as the frontline dogs and fear contractors for those above the courts and governments, such as the banks and religions, and those that control them. The courts and governments are merely the filler for this sandwich of deception and illusion. Without the ability to contract via any and all names at the frontline level, the whole system of control is destroyed. Most importantly, those at the very top of this spiritual slavery pyramid. Without the name, all levels above are ultimately annihilated completely. 6. The Triple Crown. This consists of Rome, City of London, Crown Corporation, and Washington, D.C. They are the unholy trinity of the 3-in-1, 1-in-3, as illustrated clearly in the Papal Crown. Religion to control the beliefs, minds and spirituality of humanity, the courts and banks to control the money and bonds, and the world police, military, to quash rebellion and act as frontline contractors of soul extractions. 7. Principalities of darkness. This is the true nature of the game that the vastness of humanity is blind to. Religions have been used to separate you from source by making one believe God is external and use the Savior program to reinforce this. Money is the tool that is used to keep people in the physical-only realm by getting them to equate an external value on everything where nothing would exist without the people and their creativity. Physical death and harm is the tool used to clamp down on your true essence, which is all creation itself. The tools employed are languages with the corruption of pure frequency intent, with multiple meanings of the same sounds and frequencies, using words and spellings, literally, thus dividing and conquering us and redirecting our energy into their creations and control. These entities cannot create anything since they are soulless and thus utterly powerless. They know this, and they're absolutely terrified, because this spells their doom once and for all. We are life with consciousness, where these entities are consciousness without life, soul, or spirit. They are completely and solely dependent upon getting our consent or spiritual contract agreement, and this is easily achieved through the name deception, buying people off, ego comforts, etc. Their whole house of cards and pyramid is based on this fact. We are the fuel for their system and vehicle. Without spiritual fuel, they're destroyed. The biggest program that we run into with the masses is the sheer disbelief of their own power and who they truly are. A masterful job has been done to get humanity to this level of spiritual weakness and complete ignorance. This was the intent of corrupting the ancient truths, rewriting our past, and presenting this in schools, churches, and all levels of ego academia. Repeat a lie often enough, and people will believe it. It is far easier selling a giant lie to the masses than selling us one by one. The media is the main tool of thought direction and manipulation to reinforce the lies we were filled with as children and up to our current state. We have many soulless entities on this planet, with the vast majority being placed in positions of power and control, be it police, courts, media, churches, governments, schools, military, at all levels. Fear is their only tool, and once one sees their true immortal nature, one becomes untouchable, literally. The mass hypnosis of humanity is deep, and you will meet all levels of resistance from friends, family, co-workers, etc., so don't bother trying to wake the consenting to be dead. The facts to prove this are all there for all to see, so it is up to them to look, not you. Simply plant the seed and walk away. They are the same as the ones in the allegory of Noah that came to the ark too late. Let them drown. We are now at the culmination of destroying these entities once and for all, and they are pulling out all the fear porn, illusion, and desperation plugs, and in that process, they're sinking their own ship, where I merely hand them a better plug puller now. You, and only you, can save yourself, and no one else, so stop killing yourself trying. Let the dead bury the dead, and perhaps they'll get it on the next pass, but they are not your concern. Stay the course. The path home is the one of truth only, and nothing else. Your willingness to stand in truth is yours alone, and to the degree that you stand will be the same degree that you become untouchable spiritually and, as a result, physically. As above, so below after all. There is no middle ground here. You're either in or out of Babylon. You are either master or slave, mortal or immortal. The soul, you, are infinite, where the body is merely a biological computer you operate. Your computer was infiltrated and corrupted, reptilian brainstem, fused chromosomes, and separated from the heart source mind. The soulless ones cannot experience compassion, so don't expect them to. They are the same as the Terminator droids in the movies, programmed to control and kill without remorse, and are easy to spot. They are everywhere, including your own family, friends, etc., and all you have to do is feel your way through. Let your instincts and your heart be your guide. We are clearing this reality of these parasites exponentially now, where universal law reigns supreme, where none shall or can trespass. They are masters of deception, so do not let your loving compassion be used against you, something that has been their most something that has been their most powerful tool. The Bioborg entities are already lifeless and are dependent only on being able to suck the life out of you, but like every vampire, they cannot enter your reality without an invitation. Every use of the legal name is the only invitation they need, so best cut your ties and consent with that. Just get this concept, and you have already cut the puppet strings, and your causal ability returns instantly in relation to your ability to be responsible with that ultimate of powers. To the walking dead, and you know what you are, your time is over. Your deceptions are powerless, and now, moment by moment, you are being erased from consciousness for the invading parasites you are. We of the living soul are awake, aware, and reclaiming our reality, where yours never existed. In short, yes, you are doomed. Have a nice day. Kate. So there you go. Sorry for a couple of the coughs and whatever, but I leave them in. It sounds more natural, or take them out if you want, but there it is. Babylon has fallen. Now, I want to get back to this whole bond issue and all the rest of it, because apparently some morons out there still think that there's some value there, and that somehow I said you can claim this, which I've never said that. If you go back, 3 or more years, we were all under that same illusion that somehow, remember, we've come a long way in the last few months, never mind the last few years. Something that most truthers don't get. They end up staying in a circuit and in a continuous looping cycle, wondering why they're not getting anywhere. That's why, because you're living in the grip of the past. You're a victim. Okay. The bond, or the birth certificate, this is where, and I've talked about this countless times. If anyone, and an individual that was talking about this, really, you should go back and listen to some of the shows, because I hate repeating myself, especially about retarded stuff like this that has been covered ad nauseum. The birth certificate, and I've said this before, is what debt is based on. It's a death certificate. It's a bond rating that is used by the banks, and when people agree to be part of the Whore of Babylon money system, that's what they're taking part in. Soul slavery trading. It's like this. If you took, since the Federal Reserve note of illusion is the World Reserve banknote, you take a single $1 bill, one United States Federal Reserve bill, that's what a debt is, it's a bill, and you divide it into 7.3 billion points of consciousness, all of humanity. And that's exactly what, less quite a few now because of those of us that are not part of this any longer. But if you imagine that $1 bill with 7.3 billion points of light on it, that's what every bill represents, because all of that fiat currency that people say is created out of thin air is not created out of thin air. It's created out of your soul and your ability to create. It's a contract. So why would you want to go after a soul contract? Sort of defeats the purpose. Just like Deb said in her poem, it's paper, you burn it. It's an illusion, you burn it. Money's the middleman, third-party interloper, the biggest lure on humanity. The only thing that comes between you and your dreams is money. Instead of saying, I wish to live there, and put the dream in place, what do? Well, when I have enough money, it is my wish to live there. So you put the middleman in between you, and it stops your dreams cold, and you feed the energy to something and someone else. Stop doing that. Know thyself. Probably one of the easiest ways to describe this for people is the simple fact that in your entire life you have never received one piece of mail. A legal dead name did, but you didn't. So when you say, I got something in the mail, you're agreeing with, very subtle, but you're agreeing to be that dead legal thing again. Just think about that. These are concepts that you need to get. This is how subtle the trap is. If it can be assumed or presumed that you think that you are that legal name in any way, shape, or form, you're a slave. And all you got to do is change your mind. All you got to do is just understand what I just said to free yourself of the soul trap. Yes, I know it's unbelievably simple, but the truth always had to be and always was. So you never got a piece of mail in your life. The legal name did. And only now, after this realization, you can pick and choose what contracts you want to take out of your mailbox. Because remember, a mailbox is an open vessel that says, I accept all contracts. You better change that in your mind as well. That you will only accept those things that you will accept. No assumption or presumption of legal name, ever. And I'll decide what I keep and what I throw in the garbage. Yeah, it really is that simple. It's crazy, I know. You won't believe me. Many people won't believe me. It's like I was saying last night. The joy of doing what I do is I love going around trying to give people a master key to their universe and give them truth. And what most people want to do is argue, debate, beat me up, and scream and shout at me, call me an intel agent, and all the rest of it. Run away, run away, run away. Oh my God, Kate's getting too close to home here. We might actually have to take responsibility for our fucking ignorance. But there it is. And that pretty much is it. I could make it clearer than that. But no game, no computer password, backdoor into your soul. I don't know about you, but if I had my whole universe wrapped up in a computer, and if I was concerned about it in a physical way, again, this is just an allegory, I would make damn sure it was password protected, and I wouldn't be giving that password to anybody. So the legal name actually replaces your true name. And if you choose to be the legal name, that beautiful name, that one of a kind in the universe frequency that is you, is usurped and replaced. Your angelic self is replaced with the demonic fiction. And remember, only demons must be named. And the easiest way for a demon to hide in this reality is to make sure every fucking human has one. We're not dealing with humans, boys and girls. We're dealing with entities, dark principalities. I've bumped into a few of these entities myself. They like pulling tricks like time jumps, etc. They like trying to scare the shit out of people, but they are absolutely powerless. They are powerless. Did I say they're powerless? The only life they have is that which they can steal from you. Turn off the tap, turn off the spigot, stop agreeing with it. Everything you agree with in the Whore of Babylon system, you're flowing life at it. And you're allowing children to be harmed. And right now we have the spear point of spear point with children running the game ahead. It's going to be the children, boys and girls, that are going to set this place free. And it's already started. It's already going viral. Kate's Kids Cove and all the people that are working on that, guys, fantabulous job. I am essentially speechless. I'm going to be putting a few things together. Again, I've just been busy over the last couple of days to do as much as I wanted to. But I have to tell you, incredible work, incredible things coming in, stories and kids' artwork and what have you. And by the way, guys, this is their show. They run the show. We're just there to help. Whatever they're interested in, if we can help them find it, we'll help them find it. We'll dispel illusions like the Holocaust. We'll dispel illusions like the history that was replaced and forced upon humanity. We'll dispel all of the illusions that were so carefully built by those claiming to be something that they're not. Let's just call them demonic entities that like taking on the guise of innocent people, cultures, races, whatever it may be. As I've said before, everyone on this planet is a Jew. It's not a race or a culture, it's a state of mind. And no one can lay claim to that because it belongs to all. And those that have usurped all of that truth, that have distorted it, and parasited themselves like a leech to one particular culture or religion as it's known, which it isn't. It's, like I said, it's a state of mind. Are the ones using all of us against each other. I haven't bought that shit for a long time. And all they have is propaganda. And it's all bullshit. Actually, talking about this was the one thing that got the hair up on the back of some people when I was doing the FM radio in Ayr, Ontario. Oh, I got under the skins of the Zionists, or the Judeo-Christian Zionists, as they like to call themselves. And rather than go to a board meeting to decide my fate, I said, fuck you. No one judges me. I said nothing wrong. I only spoke truth. If you can't handle the truth, then you're a pussy fucking station, and I'm out of here. To which the volunteer coordinator completely agreed with my position and said thank you to me. I don't sell out for anything or anyone. I can't be bought. And that really is the only question you have to ask yourself. Do you have a price? Is there a monetary value that can be bought at? Is there something that can appeal to you? Remember the story of Satan saying to Jesus, again, an allegory, I give you the whole world if you but bow before me. I'm going to say the same thing Jesus said. Fuck you. Why would I want this when the whole universe is mine, dipshit? Who the fuck do you think you are? God? Nice try, asshole. Now go back under the rock you pulled out from under. Moving on. So there you go. Anyway, there's my piece for the night. I'm going to get this board opened up here. And Michael, I know you're there. And there's Wendy from Down Under calling in. And hopefully we'll have an Australian translation for Babylon Has Fallen soon. Quite ripper.
Well said.
I've had a few of you guys from Down Under saying, yeah, we have to do an Australian translation of Babylon Has Fallen. I thought that was hilarious. We're going to do a Scottish one, too. So how are you guys tonight?
Really well. Sitting here crocheting.
Well, good stuff. What's that?
I'm sitting here crocheting.
Oh, nice. I can crochet. I can embroider, too.
I have trouble sitting and doing nothing, so I need to do something.
That's that is typical of me. I've always got a coffee going, or typical. I light a smoke and it burns away before I smoke it. And it's again, I know what you're saying. It's just for me, it's part of my meditation. It's pretty funny actually. But I should mention the BTR listener is 020 tonight. For those that want to get on the board, we got a little bit of room left here, and we've got an hour left until. Well, either the end of the show or if it's really pumping, then we'll roll over. But for those that want to call in, you can call in at 661-467-2401. That's 661-467-2401. Or you can click the Skype button on the Blog Talk page if you're listening there. Or you can do what we do. You can shortcut it by putting in BTR listener 020 in your contact search in Skype, hit search, and as soon as it appears, right-click on it and hit call, and it'll bring you straight to the board. Once on the board, all you have to do is hit 1 on your dial pad to let me know that you want in, and the same thing with Skype. Open the dial pad in Skype, hit 1 there, it works the same way. So I'd like to get this wide open tonight, guys. And I think what I'll do here is I'll do the CMR call out, seeing as I've been so crazy lazy and we just get carried away in talking, and that's just the way it is. So let me see. I know we've got probably about 40 seconds before I think it's 44 seconds until the message actually starts talking. Michael, maybe just a quick promo for you tomorrow morning. You've got your show, same time, same place as always, yes? Oh, maybe Michael's walked away from the computer. Anyway, no problem. I'll get that information from him when he gets back. So keep in mind, guys, and it's great big thanks to Paul Giovanni and the crew of Critical Mass Radio. That being said, I'm going to let this little message do the talking for me because I really suck at doing this.
Their walls are falling. The momentum is now with us. It's our time now. At the most pivotal point in history is Critical Mass Radio, 24/7 Truth Radio. Help us to help you. Please go to www.criticalmassradio.co.uk and subscribe £1, £2 or £3 a month. The critical mass has been reached. We must come together. We must stand together. For ourselves, for each other, for our future generations. criticalmassradio.co.uk. Now, it's our turn.
Indeed it is. It's been our turn for a while, and we're actually making use of it, which is really cool. Just a little note for anyone that might be on my Facebook or whatever, or Skype, doesn't matter to me. There's a certain courtesy and etiquette called manners that I like to adhere to. I might sound brash on the air and everything else, but I'm all about manners and treating people with courtesy and respect while having a discussion with them. People want to get stupid. Well, I've got Fluffy. She'll match you. No problem. She'll have a great time doing it too. She is getting a little tired of spines, though. A lot of spineless people out there now. Well, they were kind of spineless to begin with, so that's why she likes to remind me that no spine, all that's left there is a chewy asshole, and she's not really keen on that anymore either. So, well, that being said, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, courtesy and decorum. I have no issue with people posting stuff on my Facebook page, and if they have a comment or whatever, that's fine. I'll take it at face value. But people that just like to come in and urge for a debate, I just remove you and block you. I don't debate issues. We don't debate things here. We sit and talk about things, and it comes in from a lot of different angles. It's not just me. We have a whole table full of people here that talk all the time. This is why it works, because we can bring all the shit we want for the gems and the diamonds that are contained within it, the pearls of wisdom, if you will. And for those that want to post on my Facebook or Skype or whatever the case may be, and are in a combative, and I especially love when people say that I said this, and this, and which I didn't. That happens all the time. And also those that are, 3 years ago, Kate, you said this. Well, that was 3 years ago. How about you get into the moment now? We've come a long way in 3 years. I mean, shit, it's been 3.5 years since the judge bowed to me. What more do you want? I think we've come a long way from that. But I'll tell you this right now. The further away we get from it, the more singularity it becomes, and you get to see the truth contained within it clearer and clearer every day. And again, the only thing I wanted to do was decipher what happened that day. Wow, that's kind of weird. Why? Right? Knew that it was about the name, but didn't know to the extent. And I got to tell you, just before the show here, when I think back to all the incursions I had with these monkeys, knowing what I know now, I know how quickly and easily it would have been stopped, because it never would have happened. Then I said to myself, well, let's balance this out, Kate, because all good comes out of all things. And here's what I came up with. How the hell would I be able to share these essays? How the hell would I be able to share these truths that were so painstakingly and gotten at such a price if I hadn't lived through the experience myself? If I hadn't been able to show you, and there's lots of stuff that I have talked about. I mean, there are two very vivid experiences online right now, done live, judge bowing and 3 OPP goonies running off. And of course, never mind the countless stories that come in with people saving their homes and ending things because of the simple truth. No name, no game. But you've got to be crystal clear on that, boys and girls. This is not a free man move. This is a truth move. You got to be crystal clear on who you are. If there is even a thought or an inkling that you still think and are clinging to that legal name, you are fucked. And remember this, every time we've peeled a layer from the system, it makes it more precarious for those trying to fuck with the system. Because you see, when the hand is forced, the system must act accordingly. So keep that in mind. Every time we shift something, the whole thing shifts, and it gets more dangerous for those still playing in the legal. It doesn't get easier. It gets easier for those that know what's going on, for sure. You'll get left alone. Because the only ones left to feed on are the ones still perpetuating the fraud in the gimme sense. The ones that are still looking for their bond values, you fucking moron. I want to feed on my fellow soulmates here. Yeah, aren't you just lovely, parasite? I want my gimmies. I want my vengeance. Well done, parasite. The parasites are all those that are still looking for legal remedy or still professing to give it. And upon all those, right now, I will say your soul is up for grabs. I might even go as far as to say, you keep it up, your soul's forfeit. Not a good game to play. So if you're still selling the legal nonsense, keeping people trapped in the matrix and costing them their soul, it's only going to cost you yours. So this is a reminder to people like Tammy Pepperman, Peter Eugene, Max Egan, let me see, Santa Bonacci. You're still playing around in that shit, buddy. Careful what you're selling. Who else? The list goes on. Dean Clifford. Again, this is nothing personal to these people. I've talked to them all. I love them all. But they got to wake up, because I will not tolerate them harming any more of my fellow awakened souls here. And the more that they do this, the more children are getting harmed. Do you think I'm going to fucking tolerate that for 1 second? Didn't think so. So this goes out to all of you. The Rob Menards, the Roger Hayeses. The list goes on and on. You know exactly what I'm speaking of. The Alex Joneses, the David Ikes. While you're still selling nonsense, you're harming humanity. And I'm going to hold you accountable for it. The same way I hold myself accountable in those same actions and the refusal to harm humanity by promoting any of it. This game is just to shut the system down. And it's so simple. Anyway, Paul, Wendy, you're both in here, so let's hear from you guys.
What's happening, Kay? You good?
Oh, I think so. Fluffy, like I said, she's chewing on some spines over there, and she wasn't in the mood to come out and play tonight. I can't say as a blamer. She's been pigging out the last couple of nights, so it's all good.
Yeah, I had to control my Fluffy today. It was fucking people sending friend requests, Kate, on Facebook and that, and then sending suggestions to add people. Do you know? And it's like, fuck off, man. For what? Add somebody, I'll add them. I don't need suggestions. Do you know what I mean?
Well, okay, let's look at it from the neutral viewpoint. I get some suggestions sent to me from people that are already in my contacts, and it's only because they love what we're doing at the table here. So when someone's suggesting someone, just check to see who the mutual friends are, and you'll see that it's just someone trying to expand our table. So don't get too uptight with it. The ones that do piss me off are the ones that come in that are spam, and you can tell those right away.
Yeah.
They're easy.
Yeah, I ignored it, Kate, and the person who sent it ended up deleting me. It was like, all right, that's out. Fucking quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking there, Kate, man, what you were saying about the name and that, I was taking a wee looking, I was thinking about that today with Jacob. Do you know what I mean? And I'm saying to myself, well, Jacob was Jacob until he fought the devil. Do you know what I mean? He fought the devil, and after that, he got his name. So I'm saying to myself, well, that's kind of interesting. Does that mean we need to fight the devil so we can get a higher name? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. The fighting the devil are overcoming the demons or the of-me's within. Remember, the emotions are the demons. These are the demons we must... Yeah, that's the evil within us. It's the emotions that kill you. That's why evil is the reverse of live, okay? So it's the emotions that are going to kill you, and this is why, if you look at society and humanity, the whole society is based on selling things through pornographic means, lust, greed, clawing up the backs of your neighbors, selling pharmaceuticals that have got more side effects than any benefit that they would ever deem to claim, and so on and so on. I mean, it's a society based on devouring each other, and of course the money is the middleman. That's the one-eyed god that the demons want us to worship. That's their god. It's not mine. They can worship it all they want. And I will say this: there are some benevolent people out there. One in particular that has been helping me help a lot of people. So I know when someone's awake and when they have the means to help, and they know that what Critical Mass Radio is doing, myself, Savon Bomer, and others, this individual has helped us. That's where the pure energy comes in to take down the whore of Babylon, and then it becomes a pure game, because everything that passes through me returns back to pure soul, and anything I pass out touches any other paper. It's a Trojan virus, and it just this is the concept. This is the contract I put out, so it just keeps expanding throughout registers everywhere. You ever wonder why they call them cash registers?
Yeah, it's interesting, that one.
Well, registered soul, cash register, right? Kashi, which is the spirit of the divine feminine, register. It's all right there. And by the way, use cash, right?
No.
Oh, he's on my Facebook.
Use cash, yeah, I know use cash, yeah.
Yeah, Harry, you know Harry.
Fuck
the Romans, Harry. I love
cash.
Harry.
It's like I've never got any cash to use, Kate. You know what I mean?
Well, again, I look at you and Harry at the same in the same way. You guys have so much background connect the dot information. It's sickening. It's beautiful. But he had some amazing posts yesterday. I haven't had a chance to go all the way through it, but I know everything that Harry puts up. By the way, that's Use Cash Harry of Fuck the Romans fame that we've used so many times and will continue to use. And I love the one thing he'd done is a bunch of different posts, and right at the end of it, P.S. Fuck the Romans. What is it about you Scots that have all the giggles, eh?
That's it, Kate. You need to hear a laugh. You need to hear a bubble and squeak, you know what I mean? You need to hear a giggle, or a giraffe, as we would say. You need to hear a giraffe, do you know what I mean?
Right on.
Yeah, I was reading some of Cash's posts yesterday. Cash, when it comes to history and stuff, I think it's the weather, Kate. Do you know what I mean? It kind of rains a lot in Scotland, so we've got fuck all else today apart from read. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I know those rainy days at the caravan down on the beach and all the rest of it.
Oh, quality, Kate, isn't it? The whole family in a caravan for a fortnight. Do you know what I mean? And the piston.
Well, yeah, and again, let's go back to the 70s where you had the little portable black and white TV that you can get one or two stations, but it's because there's only 3 or 4 to choose from anyway. And then you're running it off a 12-volt car battery, and of course the battery dies mid-storm, and you're watching. We used to watch the old Hammer films, the Frankenstein and Dracula stuff. It was a lot of fun, but it really sucked when the battery ran out. But
yeah, it was also kind of sucked too, Kate, when you would get bad signals and you'd have to tune it in like a radio. You mind of that? Tuning them in like radios. Fucking brilliant.
Well, where we were actually in Malisle, down on the coast, always had a good signal, so it was never too bad. But anyway, so tell me a bit about last night, how everything went last night, because I haven't had a chance.
Yeah, it was a nice show, man. Just chatting away. We were speaking about history and stuff to do with the Celts. Do you know what I mean? Taking the dates and that back, and I was wanting to go over stuff, but you know what it's like when you're speaking away. You end up forgetting a lot of stuff, Kate. Do you know what I mean? Or it ends up fucking out the head. Do you know what I mean? But right at the very end, I was saying I found something kind of interesting the other day there. I was looking at the word Scoti. It was basically SCOTI, and that's what the Romans called pirates, which I found very interesting. Especially to do with, like, say, the Scottish connection. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Again, when you look at the British, the planet, they're showing us the planet upside down. The North Pole is actually the South Pole. Okay, so I know that sounds pretty bizarre, but of course everything's backward. Why wouldn't it be? You look at the ancient maps and you'll see that the Italy boot is facing north. Okay, not south. But when you understand that the UK are the last remnants of Lemuria, the aspect that took out the Atlanteans, okay? Because when you're dealing with the psychological types that's the dead consciousness that relies on the physical creation. Again, like the using things like the pyramids, the sacred geometry of creation against creation itself, which made it into the modern version of the pyramids, because the pyramids are effectively powerless now. They were using HARP, and of course HARP getting shut down and whatnot. Which is going to...
Lynch brought up a great... It was brilliant what Lynch was saying. She was talking about king, and basically she was saying, yeah, it's really kin, but when we put the G in it, it's X'd. Do you know what I mean? So that's when basically it all went pear-shaped, because we're all kin, Kate, but it comes back to those who believe they're better than others, and they would be those who are putting the G in the end of things and cursing themselves or cursing us or whatever you want to look at it. You know, but I thought that was a beautiful point from Ninja last night, like... Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And when you look at words like king and whatnot, what you're dealing with there is a hex. So it's the hex of knowledge. Kin means to know, a state of knowing. Kin is family, is group gathering and whatnot, right? So if you have kin G, well, what do you have? You've got the knowledge hex. So that's effectively what's happened to us. And just. If you want to have some fun with it, take the G out and put the original sound of the K in there. Well, the kink of, and of course, look at the words. They love to take these pure words and make them into derogatory words. That's a load of kink, right? Mm-hmm. Or that's kinky. Of course, a completely opposite intention and meaning for what it really is. Kin ka, which is the knowledge of spirit.
Yeah.
They're like fucking with everything, Our language has been messed with to so many levels. This is why I've told people the only way to really get your own of Phoenician or definition of a word is to look at it as many ways as you can, sound it out as many ways as you can until you find a pronunciation of it that has the intent you wish to have.
It was like the other day there, somebody says to me, Kate, about, why did Abraham, why was he not given these books? And I was thinking, well, probably Abraham couldn't read or write back then, so when he was probably taught this stuff, he was taught it orally. So by the time it got put into books, that's when it was corrupted. And I was thinking about that, and I'm saying to myself, well, how did the actual Hebrew letters come up? And Stan Tenen does a beautiful video about this, and it was actually to do with a tent and fire, Kate. So basically the Hebrew words came from fire, which I find extremely interesting.
Well, the Hebrew words from the shapes of the hand. Stan, what's his name again?
Tenen.
Yeah, Stan. You're absolutely right. This guy, who's Jewish, by the way, very, very well versed in Hebrew and ancient stuff. I loved his showing how every letter, when you close your eyes and you can shape every letter with your hands placed certain ways around your head or near your body.
Yeah, I've seen that as well, Kate.
Yeah, that Stan Tenen has got some great stuff. I've got his videos on my YouTube channel, and I've recommended them many times for those that want to start getting a more anagogic look at what's going on here. Because people get so fixated on the paper and the writing and all the rest of it.
And the religions too, Kate,
Yeah, well, if they can keep you spellbound on a piece of paper, if you think that's a contract, and the longer you think a piece of paper is a contract, the longer your soul is owned. The contracts are signed, sealed, and delivered in your head and your heart before they even get out of you. Because as soon as you think it, you're in contract. That's why I've challenged people in the past. If imagine if every thought you had could manifest, would you want that power right now? And only an idiot would say, yeah. Really? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go put you in a box over in this part of the universe, and I'm gonna let you experience hell of the highest order. Yeah. And then when you're ready to not actually manifest every thought you have that's actually going to scare the shit out of you to destroy you and everything else, then we'll turn that off and you can come back and hang out with us. Okay?
Yeah.
Those of us that are
I was reading about the Quran the other day, Kate. Just basically looking through it. No really paying much attention, and something caught my eye, and it was talking about the five dimensions that they say we live in. That's also in the Quran. It speaks about it, and one of them is called Malkut. And as I was saying, you know about the tree of life, Malkuth, and I'm saying to myself, show that to a Muslim and tell me that their book's not referring to Kabbalism. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't like it. Like, they'd be like, oh, no. Do you know what I mean? But it clearly is, Kate. Do you know what I mean? You'd be a fool not to acknowledge that.
Well, again, this is why you have to look at everything. And people get fixated on one subject or one topic, and then they just stay there because they get really good at it. And, well, I'm really good at this, so I'm going to stay here. Very few have decided to expand beyond that. And the very few are the ones that I talk about. That's one of the joys of Bill Donahue. I sent him an email the other day. I think I'm a little too. I'm of the street, and Bill and I telling the same things are completely, polar opposites in how we deliver them. I'm the Christ consciousness that, and take the compliment, boys and girls. I'm the Christ consciousness that hangs out with the prostitutes, the lepers, the criminals, and the riffraff of the planet, because that's where I am, and I love being a commoner. And Bill speaks more to those that are, for lack of a better way to put it, a little more fearful in expressing themselves in a more open and honest way. Again, I prefer people being blatantly honest. And someone had posted today, I forget who it was, a great little post too. And more or less it apologized for swearing in it. It said, listen, there is no swearing, right? They're just sounds. And the sooner people understand that, it's just a noise, it's a sound. And look how deep your programming is, because you're getting an emotional reaction to a sound. Really, a dog barking. Imagine if a dog barking was swearing. You'd be shooting dogs all over the place, So it's just a sound, guys. And this is the whole point that we're trying to get. And if there's an emotion attached to that sound, you're spellbound by it. That's why I don't care. It's only my intent that I want to get across. And then you have others like Sivan Bomer and Matt Presney, Robert Otte, Scott Onstadt. I hope I'm getting these names right. Tobias Lars, handful of others that are looking outside their boxes and covering a lot of things and tying a lot of other things together. It's one of the reasons why I, in as much as I have focused in on the name, I wasn't focused on one path there. This is why the comments by Arthur Christian are so utterly fucking retarded. I guarantee he doesn't know the first thing about Phoenician, doesn't understand how the spells work, doesn't understand the soul, whatever. Can't imagine why he would think I'd be hijacking anything that is, in my mind, 3.5 years old thinking anyway, which was retarded. And then to turn around and call me an intelligent and has thought that for the last 3 years, and my intuition and listening to my ancestors and contemplate tells me that. Well, Arthur and Fiona and the rest of you guys that hang out with them shows you what the fuck you know. Because I'll tell you this right now. When you speak of things in form of rumor, you're nothing more than a rumor monger. And you know what happens to them? Because here's the thing. You're going to get a play-by-play of what I've been through. And you're going to realize just how fucking stupid those words were for you. If you want to shit on someone that has given up everything and turn around and try to tell others that I'm working for the demons, sucks to be you. Sucks to be you. That's all I can say, and I have nothing but pity for you. Yeah. You want to shit? Oh, it is. It's dumb. You want to shit on someone that's that is only interested in helping the rest of humanity, because I am the rest of humanity with you. This world isn't going to be a great place until it's great for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have they can have their little kingdoms and their little communities and their little savior programs of hoping that the community comes and saves them so they can be a little master in their environment, playing the feudal game again. And, of course, this is my truth. No, it's not. Truth belongs to all. And I hand out a very, very serious warning to anyone that is selling truth. If you're selling it, you're no better than a lawyer, you're no better than a shill, you're no better than a piece of shit fucking demon.
Yeah.
Soul is forfeit. You sell truth, your soul is forfeit.
You summed it up with...
Oh, go ahead, Wendy. Please. Great to hear it.
You summed it up with the king of the kingdom, love. This is what he wants. The community wants to be the guru.
Yep. It's exactly
and that's
what
why, like. Yeah, divide and conquer, separate everyone from everyone else, and just have his little community there and his little clan that he can be God amongst.
Yeah, well, here's the difference, and I hand this out to everybody. Anyone that wakes up and understands benevolence of what we're talking about, you are most welcome as an equal in our community, our table, where we all sit equally around it. It's a round table. No one sits at the head of this table. No one sits at the bottom of it either, because it doesn't have a head or a bottom. It is merely purely level.
Just like minds sharing our truth.
I was talking with, oh, for crying out loud, why? It's going through me a dozen times a minute here. It stopped off this morning. It's because I probably said his name so many times today. It's not coming to mind right now. A gentleman who was hanging out with last night, we were talking about the individual, your name, which is only yours. Only you can know it. Only you can hear it, and you cannot speak it. Therefore, it's unspeakable. He or she who shall not be named. Where you are an instrument in the orchestra. You're one of the. Let's say you're one of the flutes, and I'm one of the flutes, and Paul is one of the flutes. Then we have string section and brass section, and everything else. The more of us gather together with our individual frequencies, we're actually creating this song of creation. And the song doesn't, or the symphony doesn't play, and the song doesn't play without all of the instruments. And the more instruments we can gather together in common unity of the same song. Different instrument. You're the instrument, the only one of its kind in its orchestra, as I am, like you. But we're all, there's no hive mind here. This is a choice to be a unified song, yet remain completely separate and independent as a most important and critical piece of the puzzle. And I go back to the puzzle again. You put a 5,000-piece puzzle down, and it's all there except one. I guarantee you the first one you're going to notice is the one that's missing. So I'm looking for the missing notes. And that's how critical each and every one of you are. That's why not one member of an orchestra is deemed more important than another. They all have a role to play. They all get a solo. They all get something that makes them stand out. The more you become part of the team or the song, the more individual you stand out. It's an oxymoron, but that's what everything is here. It's backwards. It's a singularity. So I totally agree with you, Wendy. The whole idea is setting himself up as the king of his little kingdom and having all the being the guru and having all the little serfs gather around and gather his food for him and shine his shoes and wipe his bum, which is just another replacement for system. So let's get rid of the Babylon system and create the same system just for me. That's a pure Luciferian concept. That is a separation and individuation from all. That's exactly
Sorry.
what you do. Oh, that's okay. It's all good. Anyway, guys, we got a little less than half an hour here. For those that want to call in, 661-467-2401 or Skype in at BTRListener020. I'm not sure if we'll roll over tonight. Just depends how excited you guys get. I think I've pretty much said everything I need to say tonight, unless there's other things that you want to get into. I know there's going to be a lot more information coming out tomorrow. But I think primarily, if there was one thing I would ask all of you, is this, that little video, Babylon is Fun. Did I put I'm going to put the link up again on Facebook. And all I'm asking you guys to do is pick 20. How long would it take you to do 20 copy pastes all over Facebook? Pick a newspaper, pick a law firm, pick a cop shop, doesn't matter. Just post it, because what you're doing is posting your intent. I don't care if they ever see it or understand it. The power is not with the receiver. The power is with the sender. And the more strength the transmitter has, the more overloaded the receiver is. Because remember, when you send out radio signal from a radio and there is a receiver somewhere, it will be heard and it becomes contract. Just because a tree falls in the forest with no one there doesn't mean it doesn't make a sound, and it doesn't mean it does. It's just simply an unknown. But I assure you, that tree, it makes a sound all right, because it doesn't defy natural law, and only a fool would think that. Of course it makes a sound when no one's there. Just no one there to witness it and experience it. It's really simple. So, seriously, if every one of us listening in right now and everyone on Facebook did 20 of these, it'd be over. There'd be millions of posts around the planet in the span of minutes. It'd probably take about 15 minutes. If you can take 15 minutes out of your lives to, help the kids, the ones getting murdered, raped, and starved to death every day, if you could actually do that for them, that would be greatly appreciated. I stand to post every day, and it's not just for the children; it's for everybody. But the children, that's the future. That's the game. Yeah, the world we've been living in really sucks, but I don't want it to suck for my children, and I most certainly don't want it to suck for yours, because I see every child as mine. I see every human with soul and spirit as mine. As far as the death-eating entities and the ones devoid of compassion, light, and life, they're just a bad idea, and they're going to get obliterated like a bad idea. We just obliterate it from our mind and move on from there. We've got much more fun to have, and I would certainly appreciate a little effort just to copy and paste. I know it might hurt just for about 5 minutes because you've got a right click and left click kind of thing, but and of course you have to hit the tab and go to the different sites. You might have to type a few letters too, but it sure beats child sleeping on the streets. Give you an example today. I went to get coffee with Vicky because I was away yesterday, and went today, and lo and behold, there's a hobo in the Bell Fountain Village. He had been there for a few days. So Vicky and I went over and had a chat with him, and I was able to give him some money today. Again, it's just energy, and I told him this isn't money, this is energy. This is showing you the universe is here for you. As it was for me, it is for you. And I had a nice shiny $100 bill I gave him, and put a smile on his face. But at least I know he's fed for the next few days, and that makes me feel good. And this is all we got to do, guys. It's
a nice one, Kate. That's the kind of thing people should, a couple of pounds. As you say, it's not really money, it's energy. A couple of pounds here and there for the poor, That's really cool what you did, like.
Well, again, it's been done for me, so why would I not do it for others? It's like, this is how we keep the flow going. And during the conversation, there was a little confusion with him, and he's been through a lot, and he's been a hobo obviously for a very long time, and but he made sense with what he was saying. It just took him a little bit to get to that point. But what I saw most of all was the sparkle in his eyes, because there had been a lot of people. Vicky had mentioned to me when we were driving past, there's the hobo that's in Belfast. I said, what? Oh, I didn't know about that. I said, yeah, he's only been here for a few days. And we were in getting coffees, and Vicky said this as well. We may not have any free coffees. And I asked her, because I really still wasn't in the loop with her at this point. And she says, well, no, I mentioned to our hobo friend up there that if he needs coffees, they're there. And I said, oh, absolutely, because when you get so many coffees, you get a free one, and we never use them up. So there's probably, I think there was 3 or 4 free ones. So by all means, yeah, I thought that was great. And I said, well, when we get these, I'd like to go over and help them out a bit more, because after seeing them, that was the intent. And yeah, it was a wonderful chat. Well, we talked for about 10, 15 minutes, and he well weathered, and someone that's used to weathering whatever it needs to be weathered, and it was just nice. He had a beautiful sparkle in his eye.
Yeah, I read a story about, it was a couple of years ago, Kate, about a musician named Dean Brown in Britain. He's quite a nice guy, to be honest. And he was in New York, and he said that there was a man in the street, you know, and people were just walking past him. So he goes into the bank and he says he lifted like $5,000, like cash, and walked up and just gave the man $5,000, you know what I mean? And he says the thing that annoyed him the most was the people walking past staring at him because he was giving the man money, you know?
Yep.
Like,
again, you know, and you look, there was a video, and I've posted, I'll share it again. I've just got to scroll down a fair bit to find it. But the new trend around the world is helping those less fortunate. And here's the thing, when you do this, it's not so much what you're doing for the individual, it's the intent that you're putting up for all of humanity. Right? So don't think of it as one individual you're helping. Think of it as a pure energy to a better reality where we all get to help each other, where there is no competition and there's most certainly no exchange. It's simply flowing. And in the meantime, while we're dealing with these old paradigm things like money and what have you, they are very quickly becoming a thing of the past because our true creation is coming back. You see, here's the thing. The more we're trapped in the money and wanting to keep in the money thing, the longer it's going to take for you just to get your super-duper created of a fingertip creativity. That's what money's doing to everybody. It's stopping them from actually being gods. You see, the consciousness was trapped in gold, and that's an allegory thousands of years ago, because man, the slave, was told that the gold and silver were worth more than the fact that they're shiny metals. Yeah, okay, they're whatever, and you can make really pretty things with them. But you can do that with copper. You can do that with any metal. There's lots of beautiful crystals out there, and these are all things meant to be shared. And for me, the gold and silver and the metals, those need to be left in the ground. Like I've long said that here we are ripping the veins, that's why they call them veins, of consciousness out of Mother Earth, the gold and the silver. And then, of course, we're emptying her bowels of the fluids that are required to lubricate and keep everything working normally. We call it oil. And then, of course, we love to dig up all the stuff that should stay buried, things like uranium and all the radioactive garbage that is in the ground for a reason, best left there. Oh no, but let's bring it up here and we'll poison ourselves with it. Yeah, that's a great idea. Humanity is so dumb. And I'm just going to go back and reference the video on YouTube called Man. Just go to YouTube and type M-A-N, and you'll see it's a little cartoon. You'll see Buddy with the snakeskin boots of two snakes that he just dragged up over his ankles. And the amount of disdain that this individual cartoon character with a smug fucking smile on his face and his greedy, almost goose-stepping attitude and gun-toting mentality is exactly what humanity has turned into. And I love how the ending happens. Some aliens come down on top of the garbage pile that he's, king of, and they come over to him, see the mess, and basically stomp him into a welcome mat, and then they take off. And of course, I think the most magical part was, even at that point, Man was wondering, "What are you doing?" Talk about retarded.
Exactly, Kate. Could you imagine if we could travel to other planets, but we'd go to these planets and do the same that we're doing fucking here? Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, and just for skits and jiggles, I'm reposting the Man video on YouTube, so get that one viral as well. I would say post Babylon Has Fallen and this one together for a really good impact on on getting the truth out. I tell you, it's and look at the tree in this video. Look at the trees that get turned into paper, right? So that's what your legal name is doing. It's destroying that as well. Have area code 956 in.
Hey, Kate. It's Manny Sunny.
Hey. I was going to say, that's Manny, isn't it? Yeah. How are you doing, man? Great to hear you again.
It's Manny. I'm doing fine. How's the show? How long have you been running the show then?
When, tonight or in general?
Tonight.
Well, we started an hour 45 ago, so I'll probably run for another bit. Yeah. But in context, I've been doing this for about 6 years or so. All volunteer, no less. Isn't that funny? Never done a paying radio gig.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been quiet the past couple of nights, Kate. There's not been many people jumping in, you know? Well, last night, I know. Bob jumping.
Yeah, I haven't... Oh, there's Borean. Borean's jumping in. Yeah, there you go, guys. We got 15 minutes. Listen, it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you guys if I'm going to roll over for a bit, you know. And of course, I think Colleen's waiting for the last 5 minutes just to make sure I roll over. But got you, Colleen. There we go. Hey, Borean, how are you?
Oh,
my mic. There we go. Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Nice and clear.
All right.
That's beautiful.
I'm trying to unmute my mic here. Right on. Good. Hello, everybody. Yeah, hey, I've been away for the last couple of days. I've been listening to Night Out, you know, and I'd like to expand on what Paul was saying earlier about how all words are created from fire. Isn't that what you said, Paul? That the Hebrew language
it was all
fire, right?
Well, it was fire, and they would make a reciprocal spiral, and you'd put that to your hand, and you could make the shapes easier.
Yeah, well, see, that makes sense because, you know, even Santo, you know, back a while ago was even talking about how, you know, it's fire is represented by Aries, which, you know, of course is the higher mind, and that's you know where fire is, and of course it's, you know, fire is the sun. Fire is, you know, a lot of things. You know, Moses was talking to the burning bush. You know, and of course, all language comes from fire. It comes from the you know, electricity. That's the electric part of our electromagnetism. You know, language is, you know, certainly a part of that, big time. Absolutely. So there you go. That's all I really wanted to say. You know, I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, mate. We are fire if you want to represent your head. Do you know what I mean? If you want to take the elements, like I was saying, your belly would be water, your chest would be air, and your head's fire. So just like he says, you know, it all comes from the head, fire. You know.
Yeah, that's it, and it's all connected. All languages. You know, there's, of course, like even look at, you know, corporate logos and what have you, and most logos are nodding to some feature of light, be it, you know, part of the sine wave the sun is making, or if not, a symbol of the sun itself. It's just interesting of just how you're talking with the Kabbalah, and just how it is manifested, you know, into the system in that sort of way, and that they still openly worship these things, you know, just like you say they do. and you know, it's certainly no secret, and of course, you know, like Kate says, all demons have to have names, and they are out in the open. They can't hide anymore. They're you know, the emperors without clothes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was reading today, Borean, that the OTO just opened 2 new orders and basically made 2 new Grand Masters, one in Italy and one in Croatia. So they're still practicing their funny magic, but it's whether they're managing to manifest these beings or whatnot. And they're getting information from them now because a lot of people are starting to look into this, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, true that. You know, but you know, the details, you know, ultimately are irrelevant. These fools are done, you know, as the truth is out, and you know, of course the roaches are scattering from the light that has come back into the planet, you know, and they're done, they're finished, it's over, you know, it's game over.
Oh, it's game over. Exactly right. I just want to let you guys know this. You're in, and Barb, I've been trying to open your mic. The first time it's been a noise, and no worries. The second one was sirens, so I'm going to try you one more time. Just be mindful when I open the mics to make sure you got quiet around you, or put your hand over the mouthpiece or mute or whatever you can, because it just creates chaos for those speaking. That's all. I wouldn't want you to have it happen to you. It's all good, hon. So again, don't ever feel offended, anyone, if I mute your mic out. It's not because I don't love you. It's because I don't love the background noise. I love you. Background noise sucks. Anyway, so yeah, Witness, you're in here.
What's up, guys?
How are you? And Barb, you're in here.
Table and to be standing in truth and know where I'm at. I just
Okay, guys, noise. Okay, that was on Barb's line. Go ahead, Witness. Try that in so I can hear you this time.
We were in there chatting earlier with Nick and these guys that have found their way here. I know it took a long time to get here, but you have made it, and I just wanted to say my truth from my point of view for them.
Please do, because, I say it all the time, my friend, and it's more important that when you guys say it, it's not just the mouthpiece, the mouthy tranny saying it. It's happening with everybody. So
Exactly.
Please, share.
All right. You were brought into this world, and you were given a name. That name is a gift. And then your parents then registered the name. That name was copyrighted by the Crown Corporation, so now that name belongs to them. And then you go to school, and your first day of school, you learn to pledge allegiance to the Tooth Fairy, the flag, the make-believe corporation in the United States. Then this is for my country, guys. I'm sure it's the same in yours. And then they do
same worldwide.
Exactly. You're all under the same shit. The British, the redcoats are coming. That's what it was in America. I'm telling you, if you're in India, the British were there. They got their ass whooped by the Indians, and then they left. But they left those courts. So you're under there.
I'm glad you mentioned something. I'm going to really show the allegory here. The reason why the British wore red coats, red is the color of anger and emotion. And coat is, if you're wearing a red coat, you're wearing the coat of emotion. And that's why when the red coats, the emotions invaded, you got behind the courts to make sure you stayed emotional. So carry on, my friend. That's beautiful.
Now, you go to school, and then you do roll call. And right after you play the now you're gonna be trained to assume that you are a name. You are that given name that you didn't create. Your parents created it. Then it was stolen by the Crown Corp. Then you're gonna run around your whole goddamn life assuming that damn name. You're gonna go buy cars with it. You're gonna go get houses with it. You're gonna get married with it. You're gonna join forces with some woman, another Crown copyrighted name. Then they're gonna force you to do whatever they want while you're under their command because you don't know who you are. You have never got a piece of mail in your life. You need to think about that. That's all you need to think about. Well, if I've never got anything in the mail, well, that must not have been me. So they sent that mail to you, and you played along because you've been brainwashed. You've all been brainwashed, man. We're all trying to get out. But for all you guys out there that are talking all that Dean Clifford shit and that I'm going to get some remedy or I'm going to put my fee schedule in, you are not awake, and you do not know who you are. So don't try to say you are. You need to stay here. I was exactly like you, asking the same stupid questions coming out of Dean Clifford shit. I didn't know. I thought I was on the right track. I had to go through trust law, contract law, Dean Clifford. The same road you've been on. Alex Jones. It's all bullshit. Don't come in our room and talk about airplanes flying in buildings, the remote control. We know. They're all legally dead. There wasn't one living soul in those buildings. They're all dead by consent. So if these people want to fly remote control airplanes in the buildings and kill them, well, that's their own. They're dead, and you're dead too. As soon as that cop asks you for that name and you assume that name, you are dead. You have no chance. They'll do whatever they want. If they want to write you a ticket and just take some more of your creation, that's what they'll do. And you're here. Go ahead, Kay.
Let's really lay it on the line for them, shall we? When a cop asks you for the name, here's the translation: "Give me access to your soul so I can wreck and pillage everything you think you've created and owned, including your children, and make sure they're naked. Does that work?
Sounds right to me.
It's exactly what you're doing.
As soon as you understand that when someone asks you, who are you? And you say, I'm John Doe. Well, you are not awake. You do not know who you are. The correct answer is, I'm me. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't play in your realm. I don't fear you. If I told you, hey, man, you need to grow some marijuana in your yard, and you go, well, I'm not going to do that because I might get a felony. Well, then you are under contract with these people. You're spiritually under contract because you are scared they will give you a felony or a misdemeanor. You take them right out of your fucking consciousness if you know who you are. I'm me, nothing more, nothing less. You want to take me to a court, you're going to have to drag me there. And when I get there, I'm going to scare every fucking buddy in that bitch. That's when you know who you are.
Hey, you know what, man? Let me know when you want to have the table to host for a night or two. It's all yours because you're saying everything here the way I say it. And not that it matters to me how I say it, but what you're doing is you're actually saying the truth the same way I hear it. You know, here's the thing. If somebody ever asks you for your name, just stop and go, listen, can you hear that? I can hear it. Can you hear it? Oh, you can't hear my name. I can't say it. It's too high a frequency. Have a nice day. You see, and one other thing I just want, and keep going here. I've got, I think I might have Bob calling in here from down under. But one of the things I want to stress here, and you've been so eloquent with it, with regards to the mail, right? You have never received one piece of mail in your life, and if you can get the concept, you'll understand it. The name is quite simply this. It is the password to your soul. It is the replacement, the demonic name for your heavenly one that no one can hear, no one can know but you. When you hand that over, you hand over everything. And if you do not hand it over and you know who you are, I don't care what was registered to that legal name. Because they can't get to anything that is registered in that name until they get you to admit to being it. So not only does this take down their protections where your shields go up, it actually protects everything that you've ever registered. You might want to consider this for your children as well, because no one gets to the Father but through me. And if you give up the name of the Father, i.e. the legal name, then they own you and everything you attach to. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. We've got Randy in here too now, by the way, and guys, you know what? I'm inspired. I'm glad you showed up, and let's roll this on for a little bit. And I want to hear more from you, my friend.
That's my goal. My goal is to roll over, Kate.
Yeah. Do you go by Tro?
No. My answer to the sound Brady.
Brady. Okay, that's all. Yeah. Okay, now I know. Okay, good.
Tro was the dude I woke up that called in that day.
That's right. Okay, that's where I correlated that.
Hey, that's my boy. I woke him up, and he was like, man, that dude sounds just like my buddy. I had to call him and say, that was me, dumbass.
And something else, too, to keep in mind, guys, and I did hear Bob there, and hold that sigh for a sec, Bob. I want a really big one when I'm finished here. I know, remember this, I have got over a couple of thousand people in my Skype contacts. I've got almost 5,000 in Facebook, and never mind emails and everything else. I do have one more quick email I want to share. It's from Australia, Bob, so if you can hang on for a sec, because I think you'll you'll appreciate it. But here we go. This came in from Anna. I want to share this. It came in today, and she wrote, "Hi, Kate. Listening to your show from 2 days ago, and you mentioned a guy from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, by the name of Christian Man. I think who sent email, etc. This is where we are from. Can you please send his email or contact us? I need to find people in my town, Melbs, to help spread the truth. We have one. More people need to know. Santos has really disappointed us all. Anyway, love and happiness to you and all, Anna and Lee." So the information was passed along, and as far as I know, they're already in contact. This was a few hours ago. So please, guys, if there's anyone that you hear on the show that you want to contact or get in touch with, do not hesitate to get a hold of me, because if they're talking to me, they're in contacts, and I can connect everybody that I'm connected to. And this is the game. the more we connect ourselves together in our own areas, that creates a collective on the world stage, okay? So please, use me as that conduit. I have not an issue in the world with that. I don't care if you have... I think my phone should be topped up today. I gave Vicky some money for that so that her mom can help out and take care of that. So by all means, get a hold of me and do not hesitate, because if there's anything on this planet I want you to know is at least there is not only the people at this table, but you know this for sure. There is one. I am one that you can access. I am one that you can call. And thank you so much for making me smile every time I pick up my phone or Skype and oh my God, is that you, Kate? I said, yeah. Oh, I can't believe I got a hold of you, Kate. I said, why not? I have a phone. If it rings like you, I will answer it. So, and thank you. It feels so wonderful. I can laugh at it. So it's just me. I got up and peed this morning, didn't you? So anyway, there you go. We only got about a minute, or actually about 30 seconds till we roll over, guys. So if you're going to call in, you've got all of 22 seconds. No problem. Actually, the board's full anyway, so no problem. Go ahead, Bob. And we have Randy and Panarello is in here as well. So, Bob, that one again.
Oh, dear. Oh. Hey, good now, everyone. Good now, everyone. Good now, Kate. Good now, Wendy. Good now, everyone else that's listening. Hey, Kate, darling, I just want to really thank you for enabling this sacred space. And, and I just want to get some closure on a thread that I started yesterday and something that I shared, which was a little thing that I called "Why Do I Come to This Table?" And there's one element that I actually left out, but it's amazing how I get more clarity when I go for a swim. So the one item I left out of my sharing yesterday was on why do I come to this table, is because it is an open forum. You know, I've been all over the net to hundreds of talk shows, you know, and you call in and you're in a queue, and then whoever's hosting the show picks and chooses. Now, for me, you know, if that's not control and ego, then what is, you know? And so one of the primary reasons I come to this table, apart from everything that I shared yesterday, is that it is an open forum. I know when I come, you know, and put my hand up, first in, best dressed, my mic will be unmuted, and I do my respectful part and mute my mic until such time as I feel I have something appropriate to share. Now, you know, what is more beautiful or equitable than that? You know, there was a guy on the show yesterday saying, I'm going to start my own radio show and I'm going to have a mute button so I can just mute, you know. I thought, well, hey, hang on, that's another place I'm not going, you know. It's, for me, it's the concept of the jam session around the fire, you know. Everybody is welcome, or the talking stick, everybody's welcome to come to the hall, and please be aware that you're totally at liberty to share your heart, you know. It is a safe place. You can share your heart, and I will listen, and I will not judge, and I will not interrupt. And when you finish sharing your heart, then I'll share mine. So, thanks, Kate.
Easy.
Thanks, all the other people. And I'd really love to say hi to Wendy. Whereabouts are you,
Hi, Bob.
Wendy?
Hi, Bob. I'm actually house sitting on the Gold Coast at the moment.
Oh, God. Bloody hell, you're just down the track then, eh?
I am.
Yeah, that's only a 3-carton trip. That's only a 3-carton trip.
Yes, but I'm heading south after here.
Oh, you have to get some more beer then.
Yeah, my father's in Adelaide, so I want to go down and see him.
Oh, yeah, got good friends in Adelaide. Lots of really good musical friends in Adelaide. Port Noarlunga, there's a great folk club.
Yes.
Oh.
And Kate, did you tell Anna that I'll be in Melbourne in September. If you could give her my details, if you have them.
Well, sure. Actually, you're in my Skypes, yeah?
Yep.
What's yours under?
Scary
Is it the Scary Me? That's what I thought it was. Okay. What I'll do is I can copy and paste that same email to you. It's got her email address, and you can contact Anna directly. And again, guys, the more of us that can hook up, especially in the physical, beyond it being magical and going, whoa, look at that! I never would have met you except for the fact that we all sit at the same table. It's guys, it is a glorious feeling. I love meeting people that I've talked to and get to meet for the first time and go, whoa, how cool is that? It's awesome because you've talked to people and you get to know who they are and whatnot. So
I do it a lot.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Absolutely. As I live in a van, so I'm mobile the whole time. I'm just house sitting for 6 weeks, 8 weeks in a bit of a mansion at the moment. But normally I'm in my van with my dog.
Nice. What a way to live, man. That's awesome.
Hey, Wendy, I spent 10 years in a combi going around Australia. Good on you, darling.
I've got a Toyota high ace, super long wheelbase. Unregistered, unlicensed.
Hey guys, there's a little something I want to share here. It was a post that Randy, going to read it. You posted it, if you don't mind. This is what I love to see because, this is where I laugh at people like Arthur Christian and all those that want to claim a piece of truth as theirs and they're so important. All I could give a fuck personally. Listen, if it's true, it belongs to all of us, and I don't care if I think it's something great. But I'll tell you, I'm a creation of all of you. So how the hell can I take credit for things when I am the net result of my experiences with all of you? So this is why this whole claim of anything is so retarded. I've got a couple of tricks. I can write songs and stuff like that, but as soon as they're played, it's a gift given to me that is given right back because that's where it came from. I have no words for this, but anyway, I want to share this, Randy, because this is the shit I'm talking about. All right, and this is a post Randy did in the room because we've had a few people that are still, and I get it, I totally get it. We got lots of new people, and it takes a bit to get past this. I don't believe it thing.
We all did.
Yes, exactly, Randy. And we've all been here. So don't think you're alone. If you think that you're not quite getting the name thing, we were there. We understand. Just stay the course with us. We'll get you home. Don't worry. It takes a little bit. It's about breaking the walls of deception and doubt down. And once they're gone, you go, oh, my God, this was so simple. And it really is. So I'm going to share this, Randy, if it's okay with you, or did you want to read it, or you want me to?
Flip a coin. Oh, there you go. The coin's spinning. You go right ahead, sister.
I'd be very honored to. I love sharing other people's words, and I can resonate them with my own heart because this is exactly what I would say and how I would say it. So whose words are they? This is my point. Your birth certificate is not yours. More importantly, it's your name that is not yours, legal name. The BC is a bond, stocks and bonds. Once your birth is ship and water, hence Admiralty law, because you come from your mother's water, there is a notice put in the newspaper announcing you to the world, or so you think. This is where your mom and dad failed to claim you. So a false corpse oration claims you as a corpse oration. Just like that. All caps name. Creates a bond based on mom and dad's current income, your zip code, etc., and estimates or is allowed under legality to assume and presume a value to you for your time as what it is from this point forward, a slave. You're coming from water is a gift, or you coming from water is a gift. Hence your given name. Gamete intrafallopian transfer is gift. Look it up, blah, blah. But you are an infant and would most likely never consent to such a contract, which it is. And under their 7 laws of lawful contract, it is now fraud because there is to be full disclosure and a meeting of the minds, among other things, which didn't happen. Fortunately, once a fraud is revealed, the contract is null and void. Nunc pro tunc, the only thing I would add there, now for then for now. So that contract is null and void whenever you remove their presumption and assumption, just by your intent. Pause, breathe. Just by your intent. Change your mind, change the universe. Actually a real thing. Anyway, I emailed the Secretary of State, President, Government, local high judge or mayor, city's attorney, and judges. I am a common law man, no bank account, no license or license plates. I travel via my rights. I do not drive. Who cares, right? I remove their jurisdiction. License comes from licentious. Are you licentious? That means to be a sexually and morally depraved criminal. Assumptions and presumptions. The name is not yours. A legal name is not yours. Whatever you call yourself is yours. And it could be the one your mom and dad gave you. Just learn the difference. And I would say change it up till you get the concept complete so you can never make the mistake of assuming and presuming. That's why I'm fortunate. I gave myself my own name. It was actually a gift hidden within the given name. So it's not the given name. It was an anagogic hidden W, Katie, the old initials, right? Anyway, the name is not yours. Here's what I do. I am called, or I am known as, or I go by, etc. Or my GPS map reference to find the magnetic electric me. All you have to do is call out Kate loud enough, and I will hear you. There is no getting of money back from them. Money is for employees of the United States Corps, not the USA. There are two different entities. There's actually three of them, but let's not get into details there. Congress is the board who elects the president. The name, or non-applicable magnetic electric, is the mark all will have from the Bible. Mark of the beast is your magnetic electric me, given over. Yes, this is a game of spirit, and they will take yours at any turn. Knock, knock, you say hello. Who is it? Sheriff, we need to speak with your name. That person doesn't live here, which is correct. You're telling the truth. They don't. They're looking for a dead thing. You're not dead. Dead men tell no tales. That person is words on a document. You are now a living entity, and they cannot contract with the living, nor can they evict the living. Love. That's exactly it. No one gets to shit but through the legal name if you confess to be it. I confess to no one. I serve no one but all. It really is that simple. This is so numbingly simple. That's why most people won't believe it. So there you go. Got 757 in, Panarello, Randy. Actually, Randy, if you want to jump in for a sec, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's, and I get it. For those who are like, I just friended a guy. He's a disabled vet and in a wheelchair, and he's in that paradigm that he needs his money. So he's still going to use the name.
Well, here's the thing, Randy. Now, this is where it's critically important, okay? Now, I get this dilemma with people a lot of the time, and I don't want people to cut their own throats despite their faces, okay? And here's the deal. Get the concept. Understand that you are not the legal name. If you are caught in a position where you need that for sustenance and are not fully trusting of the universe and self, stay the course until you are. This is why I tell people, what the fuck is your hurry? You've only got forever. Stop and breathe, you drive-through fucking monkey. You want your burger in 35 seconds, or you're leaning on the horn, ego greedy. Just chill. Stay the course. And Bob, would you do us the honor, please? Show them what breathing is about. I want you to breathe.
Hey, I do it continuously, Kate.
That's why I love when you do it, because that's what people need to do, Bob.
Yeah, and people have called it, a sigh of relief, but for me, it's not a sigh of relief.
It's a spirit.
It's a sigh of release. It's a sigh of release. Automatically. If something pops in that I need to let go of, my body automatically just goes, and brings me back to now and brings me back to center. But while I'm speaking, Kate, on a technical issue, I'm sort of running out of Skype credits, and I won't be able to get any more until next Friday. But when I call in on the BTR number, there's no dial pad there for me to hit 1. Is there a way around that?
What you need to do there is on your Skype, when you have it open, there's a little plus sign. Just click on that, and it says show dial pad, and the dial pad will pop up. Or you can actually go to, let me just open my Skype up. If you go up to the top left, you'll see a little telephone. Just click on that, and it'll open the dial pad. When you open up Skype, are you on Windows or Mac?
No, I'm on Linux. I don't feed the beast.
Oh, Linux, yeah, it's a slightly different setup, but basically, just look around your Skype, format you have, and there is a means to open up the dial pad to make a call. See, the thing is, like with the shows, you don't need credits to call in Skype in. You're going to try to call the number, then you'll need credits. I'm down to $3.
Yeah, I understand that.
$3. I know you do. I'm more for everybody else too, right? So.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah. Okay, I'll do some investigation. I've tried finding it before, and that's why I call in on the phone number, because I know that's always successful. But for me, it only works if I've got Skype credit. So okay, I'll continue on this voyage of discovery.
Okay, and also if you do have an issue, Bob, whatever, let me know, and I know you're very courteous, and I can bring you in the call with me, because you know where the mute button is, so it's all good. Okay, so if that's ever an issue, I can bring you into Skype with me when I'm hosting. Okay.
That, Kate? Yeah. I'm just chilling back, enjoying the energy. It's beautiful.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Oh, yeah. No, Randy or Panarello, you're in. 757, you're in. And Lou, 327, you're in. Who we got?
Panarello here.
There you are. How are you?
Yeah, Bob. Pretty good. Yeah, I was going to say, Bob, maybe you haven't registered with the Critical Mass blog radio thing, and that's why you have to use credits on Skype. Like, did you? And then you can go to Skype for free and everything. Maybe. Well, I don't know.
Well, he has Linux, so it's a different setup.
It's a different setup. Linux is a pain in the ass. I know. I had that in my other computer. I hated it. I like the Windows version of it. The Linux is a pain. Really, it is. It's a pain in the ass.
I love it, and it's free.
Yeah, all I'm getting at is you know how you log in, you become a member of this Blog Talk Radio, then it takes you straight to Skype, so you should be all right through that. You know what I mean? Like, you with me?
Yeah, look, when I go to the Blog Talk Radio webpage, for the show, and the show comes up, and there's that little Skype thing near the top right-hand corner of the player. When I click to activate through that, I never get through. It goes into a self-fulfilling loop. So and I am very confused.
Hey Bob, the pop-up window that comes up from that is probably hiding behind your internet page. That used to bug me too. Yeah, so just minimize all the other pages, because what will happen when you're going through Blog Talk, I'll tell you what happens, because I have to use it on occasion with someone else, like Ninja, for example, last night had the board, so I was able, I'm able to, here's the sequence. You hit the button, another window pops up, and then you hit OK on it, forget what's in it, but it's just a little written window.
Launch application.
Right, so what then happens is another window opens up, and I have to expand it larger, and it says click to talk. When you hit click to talk, another thing comes up, but it's always too small to see already have Skype button, so I have to make that box, drag it open, and then hit already have Skype, and then it connects through.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've done that. And still never had a successful outcome.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's
then
okay.
you did.
What will be, Kate.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Like I said, if you have an issue, I'll bring you in with me. So let's carry on. We got the Skype thing covered. Let's stop wasting time on this. Panarello, whereabouts down under are you?
Adelaide, South Australia. So Australia.
Right.
Yeah.
Want to know whereabouts you were? Adelaide, because we have Wendy.
Adelaide.
Yeah, she's heading to Adelaide. What you say in a couple of days or so? So look at it.
She's gonna visit her dad. Yeah. Come pop past, man. I'm here. Campbelltown, easy to find.
There you go. Look at that. I tell you, it's.
You come up Sundays and come sailing.
Sailing? What, up there? No, man. Come down south, man. It's easier. It's downhill. No, I'm joking.
downhill.
I haven't been to Queensland for like 4 or 5 years, and last time I was there, mate, they told me to get out of there. I didn't look the part, so I got out.
I love it. Isn't it great being a freak? I think that is awesome.
Yeah. Nah, it's all good traveling anyway. That's good shit.
Exactly.
We're going to keep going, man. Day by day.
Yeah, keep her going and keep her rolling. Brand new caller here. I haven't seen Lou on the board, so, well, it could be Loud 327, but let's go with Lou, D327.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My first time calling in, but I've listened for a long time, and I just wanted to touch on the point you were making before about baby steps and not having to get it all right away and do everything overnight, and that's real important for me, especially because I'm an addict by nature. I have that real addictive personality, and thank you so much for reminding me over and over that it's baby steps and it's getting it one piece at a time and not having to do it all overnight.
Exactly. And in that same breath, I'm here. Okay? If you're really having issues, I'm here. People know how to get a hold of me on Skype, and they know how to get a hold of me on the cell and email and all the rest of it. Do not hesitate. I want to make sure that everyone knows that you're not alone in this. We've been alone for too long. Okay? And yes, take the baby steps. You don't have to do this in the instant. I'll tell you what emotion hit me at first was having that blinding realization of, holy shit, getting screwed, know how, and then, of course, the urgency kicks in. Because, like any situation that's killing your soul, you want to get out of it in a hurry. But here's how friggin' quick it is. It's so easy. You are not a legal name. Understand that you are you, and the legal name is the access to your soul, and the only way they can access your soul is if you agree to be that. Once you get that concept, your soul is separated from this shit. The rest of the stuff is easy. It's details. It's taking your time. That's why I spent the time writing the essays. And as I was saying to someone last night, the reason why I like writing is because when you're reading, you're actually in a state of meditation, and you're breathing. You're taking the baby steps. And I don't care if you read 10 words a minute or 1,000 words a minute. Is irrelevant to me. What is relevant to me is that you just take time and stop beating yourselves up. I've done it. We've all done it. Don't do that. It's not going to solve anything. If anything, it's going to make you frustrated. It's going to get you anxious. It's going to start weighing up all these fluffy things going on within you, and that's the last thing we want. Seriously, you don't want that. So, Lou, thank you so much for again, you've reminded others as well. And I cannot say this often enough to breathe, you know. If you start feeling anxious, just remember Bob and Barnaby and sigh is spirit. So have a spirit of relief. Just breathe. We've been in such a hurry for so long. Time is the illusion. When you have infinity, what's your rush? Kind of dumb, don't you think? But thank you again, Lou, for bringing that up. Carry on, my friend. Great to have you. First-time caller. That's awesome. First-timers coming in here. And, of course, the regulars, too. The more the merrier, guys. And like Bob was saying earlier, go ahead, find another platform that you put your hand up that you're going to be welcome at the table and the mic left open. Well, if there's a lot of noise going on in the background, and of course if you're chill and just being stupid, I'll mute the mic out. But other than that, the mics stay open because this is an open table. It is an open forum. I'm not here to control people. That's your job. My job is, we set the table and we have fun. And yeah, Stevie, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, thank you. Just thank you for bringing me back in. I was out late in the world of nature and screwed up and touched the wrong button. Just wanted to touch on two quick things. And Lou, thank you so much. And yes, two things. One thing Kate brought up not too long ago, just a few days back, or whatever, and her and I talk about it quite a bit. Is just go into the archives and go back about, 12, 18 months, and look at where we all were just that short time back, and how this has just expanded itself, and just for all of us, and it's just incredible. We're all just moving forward in leaps and bounds, and it's just wonderful. Secondly, is we were talking, or you all were talking a little bit earlier, and Kate had brought up something here just not too long ago, and has on many occasions, about intent and use of documents and intent. And one thing you have to understand about documents, I grew up as a very young child running an old fishing resort, and we had a lot of docks, and the docks were there to tie up the boats. So if you don't have your intent in place, don't put your all of your whims in the documents, because the docks will just tie you up at the harbor, and you will never sail free again.
Exactly. There was something you had said just. Oh yeah, you were talking about the older shows. I would if anybody wants a really, really funny good night and have a good chuckle at me, go back to when Tony was at the table with us and co-hosting with me, and maybe go back to, if you want real comedy, go back to one of the Tyler Davenport Saturday night bitch rants. And I got to tell you, you want to giggle, and Stephen, you're so right on the money. What a difference, you know. If there's anything I'm afraid of right now is going back and listening to me. It's because the contrast is so blinding. But I was
a fucking idiot.
Oh, man, some of this stuff I can only imagine, you know, the nights we got into it and all the rest of it. I can go, oh my God, listen to the children screaming at the table. But you see, this is when you get the joy of seeing your true self, and how this is where you get to see how far you've climbed the ladder in your own contrast. It's when you look back when you thought you were so brilliant a year ago or 18 months ago, and then you realize you were quite the fucking retard. And it really is funny. And Stephen, we've had many conversations, some really light jovials and some other really intense get down to the nitty gritties, and it has been quite the roller coaster ride. But now that it's leveled out, I don't know if you can hear my voice. I am howling inside thinking about it, man. I can only imagine this shit. Honestly.
I remember some of it. I think back to, a year and a half ago or so, and I think there were some nights we got into it so much on the show, and I forgot we were even on the show, you know.
I know,
talking.
eh?
We would.
I got to tell you guys, we have got some really, really awesome in the physical meat stick fear porn paradigm comedy reruns that I know at some point, if I want a good giggle, I'm just going to go listen to me going off the deep end and having a friggin' howl at myself with Fluffy under full control of me. Friggin' awesome. Too funny.
My friend.
I got something to share with you guys. This is from Fletcher Memorial Home. This is I wanted to share this. Just got posted on Facebook. Anytime I see a longer post, and of course when it's headed, "Hi Kate, posted attention to all police agents," you got my attention right here. So here I'm going to read it it's basically as far as I got. Here it is. "Hi Kate, I posted attention to all police agents on a police watch group. This was a reply I received. Could you please respond on air, Anton Perry? I agree with most of this. All the courts are in a commercial jurisdiction. They aren't common law courts. So when you say can and will be prosecuted for your crimes in a living court of record, could you please tell me where this living court of record is physically located? Because of this, I believe they can't and won't be prosecuted. Well, this is why the universe takes care of it. No vengeance required. This is beautiful. When you let go, man, the universe takes care of it for you. It's awesome. They can't and won't be prosecuted in what I would call a de jure common law court of competent jurisdiction. Well, they don't have that, right? As opposed to what we have, a de facto commercial court of contractual jurisdiction. Also, spiritual suicide. Indeed it is. It's an argument of legalese. Why would you bring this into it? Be spiritual by all means, but why force it on others? I believe it detracts from credibility. They're going to respond to this by saying you are insane. Typically, yeah, that's normal. That's what insane people do. They instantly mirror themselves by saying, "You're insane." That's your mirror. Anyway, we're not responding at all. So I guess why extend your spirituality to a legal concept simply to condemn them for it? I totally agree. They've condemned themselves. You don't have to condemn anybody. There's no forgiveness or judgment here. You just observe it and go, "Nothing I would do." Golden rule, that which you have wished on others. Happy wishes, I grant your wish. I love you. Have a nice day. That would be just like the policy enforcer showing you a statute. a good letter, though. Did you really bleed onto the paper? Did you match this with an ecclesiastical deed poll? How did that go? You see, and this is the thing too, and you mentioned it as well, Stephen. It's about the intent. Once you see, here's the thing. Once you remove all assumption and presumption out of your reality, you're not a legal name, you're not this, you're not that, you're not the other. Once you remove all of that presumption and assumption, guess what happens? Especially the phonics and understanding that each word means equal and opposite, neutralize that, just get that concept and everything's now your intent. You get your full power, cause, intent back. How about that? Do you need any paper with that shit?
You have to stay intent.
Yep.
You have to stay in your tent, in yourself, because the point being is you cannot change anything outside of yourself. But once you look inside and change yourself, then everything else changes.
Exactly. And there's nothing, I got to tell you, and it took a long time to get to this level, but there's nothing more profound in truth than change your mind, change your universe. That is such a, when you get this, that is so literal. It is the most potent anagogic statement with so many things that you could attribute to it. But when you fully get the scope of what that is, it becomes from the anagogic into causal literal.
Well, think about that for a minute, Kate. How many times have we preached, don't be literal, be allegoric, be anagogic, don't be literal. Now we found out once we fucking understand, or I think we do, that is literal.
Yes, it is, but you got to get to the anagogic first, and the literal is going to be the literal that was already predefined for you. You've got to redefine the literal from your reality, and the only way you can do that is to get rid of the illusion, see what it means to you. See what is it saying to you, and how can you redefine that to work with your intent? Don't buy somebody else's intent, or you're just buying the fear porn headlines from the Alex Joneses and the rest of these wankers. Okay, stop doing that shit. I take headlines all the time and I turn them into my definition. And of course, when you do that, well, that's what you're changing in your reality. And I mean that literally. So you're right on the money, Stephen. As soon as you get the anagogic, now you can say it within pure intent into the literal. So you're actually creating it perfectly. Remember, I said that before. You go from literal to allegory to anagogic, and once you get the anagogic, then you can speak your own literal. I used shoot the bull as the example of how to get back to the literal, right?
The thyroidal.
Exactly. So we have, there's thyroid, toroid. It's a toroidal field, right?
Toroidal. Your toroidal. Thy thyroidal field. Your own thyroidal field.
Yeah, thy spirit breath of creation of the self in the thyroid. Take the D out, take the mirror out, and put the law of truth in there, and it's such a powerful thing.
And the thyroid resides right below the larynx.
Yep.
So in other words, all of your intent, all of your desire is created before you even speak.
Exactly.
So you don't have to say a fucking thing.
Bingo.
It's already done.
All you got to do is breathe. Spirit breath, remember? Your Gemini is your only spirit aspect. That's your lungs, hands, and arms. That's why the hands are the most potent when you point. That's why they point with fingers when they're casting spells, because that's where the magic comes off your five-pointed stars.
I can't wait till you and I finally once meet in the physical. The thunderbolts are going to fly, my friend.
It's going to be great. It already is. Again, this thing is changing real quick. Can I do a quick literal to allegory to anagogic back to literal, just so people understand this? This is how it works. When you say something like, let's go shoot the bull. I love using it. Bill uses this all the time. It's one of my faves. When you say to someone, I'm going to go shoot the bull, typically, and that's funny, in Canada, they don't get it. They don't understand it. They will shoot the shit. Oh, yeah, now I know what you mean. Anyway, it means it's the same thing, right? And shoot the shit, by the way, came from the bull. The problem is it's the wrong Uranus that it's coming out of. Anyway, it's all good. So shoot the bull means to go and talk. It's an allegory. It means literally to go and talk. If you take it literally, there's dead cows with horns lying in fields because people don't understand. Right, that's typically a religio-cosus chosenitis, someone who goes to church and actually believes the literal of what you're saying. Excuse me. Okay, so what we have, literally, shoot the bull means to go and talk from the allegory of, here's the allegory of what it means. Shoot, to eject, the, theos, God, bull, that's your torus, just above the thyroid, as you were saying, Stephen. So what? And of course, torus is a toroidal field. Depends how you spell it. Sounds the same, doesn't it? That's the Torah, torus, tarot. It's all the same thing. So shoot the bull means to eject God from the torus, from the mouth, which torus rules the mouth and throat, into the torus field of creation around you, your toroidal field. So there's the anagogic explanation of the allegory of shoot the bull, which means literally to go and talk. So now you know why shoot the bull means to go talk, where people just took it for granted before. And I remember the interview with Bill. I brought that up to him, and he hadn't taken it past that. And I remember his reaction to it. He says, "Oh, wow!" And I felt the light go on, right? But that's what anagogic means. It means taking it to its highest mystical meaning and returning it back to literal. So that's how you do it. When you change the reality, the literals that you're seeing, into your own anagogic of Phoenician, the Phoenicians of your own, because you can look at it and change it just by changing the meanings by sound in the word. Now you can re-enter it literally, and there's the magic. Your cause is back. And you won't get that cause back at all until you know that you're not the legal name, because while you're still under that soul contract, your power is being drained, and every ounce of effort that you put out is going directly to the demons. So cut that string, Pinocchio. It's only one string. Cut it, and all other strings fall away. So there you go.
Yeah, that's interesting, Kate, what you were saying there, because you know yourself, Torah, take the T off. You've got or, spirit breath, one way, and light the other way. Do you know what I'm saying? And plus the reference for Torah meaning law, tarot, same with the tarot law. Do you know what I mean? So you speak your own laws. That's what
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Jurisdiction means oath spoken.
Mm-hmm.
This is why. Here's something. Here's another thing, just to really put a nail in the coffins of the free man, legal, sovereign idiots. Okay, that are just the same as lawyers to me. Now that I just said that, it just left me again. Paul, refresh me. What did you just say that?
I was just saying there, Kate, that if you take the T off a Torah, that then you would have or light. You spell it backwards, aura. You've got also aura. Spell it backwards, you've got or. Do you know what I'm saying? Spell it like on one way it's meaning or, and another way it's meaning ro. So one way it's meaning that would be light, and spelling it backwards that would be spirit breath.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Plus also reference to.
I remember what it is, Paul. Hang on. Carry the thought. I was speaking about jurisdiction. You hear these idiots going in trying to argue jurisdiction. While you have a legal name, you're only in one dead man's world. Your jurisdiction is already given up. That's the power of this. If you think you're going to argue jurisdiction in a courtroom, and how many people have I listened to that have tried that and failed miserably, because your jurisdiction is already given up with the legal name. You're committing fraud by using it unknowingly. But once you know this, it's now the fraud is reversed, because there was intent to dupe you into it. Mom and Dad weren't told that they were claiming the vessel worm hit the egg while it was sitting unmanned for 9 months in the womb. You didn't grab the car at the beginning of the assembly line. You get it when it's ready to drive. That's why, and it's proven out in astrotheology, if the spirit, the true you, were in the body at the instant of conception, then the charts would have to be accurate to when you were conceived, which is a fucking impossibility.
Thank you.
Kate, you killed it.
Yeah, Kate, nice one.
Killed it.
And that's why it's about the intent, your own intent. Any document you do, that's what the freemen, that's what the sovereign movement, that's what it's about. How do I create a document? How do I spell the words properly to make this all go away?
Been there.
It ain't going to work.
Been there, done that.
It doesn't work that way. You just docked yourself and tied up the four corners of your boat at the dock.
Steve, I have written some of the most perfect intellectual pieces of garbage.
Yes, I agree.
They were
agree.
Brilliantly
I love
intellectually useless.
Yep. I've never used one of them, but I love you for doing it, because it opened my eyes to what I needed to understand with myself. Only myself. Because that's all you have, boys and girls, is yourself. You can only change within. And that changes without.
You know, Steve, it's really funny because you're absolutely right. We have to go through all of these things, and this is where people get stuck in their intellectual. That's why people like Tammy Pepperman and others are still trying to sell this legal schlock fest, because they still haven't got a clue, and they cannot let go of that thing that they think they know. And the real joke of it is, going through writing the way I did, what it was showing me were the layers. And that's where it really started opening up the spiritual. So nothing was wasted, but here's the singularity of everything that I've done. Everything that I did from the beginning to this point was absolutely critical and useless at the same time.
You healed me with it.
Me too. I mean,
what I told you the other night about what happened here about a week or two ago with me, and my realization of what I was playing around in my own brain, and I didn't even realize it, because it's not about a document. I never filed one. I never said one. I've never used one. But it's what I was thinking, rattling around in my own brain. And once I threw that out, everything changed, because I changed what was in me, and it changed everything around me.
Yes. Yes.
There's the magic.
I feel the same, man. Every day I get more and more powerful, man. It's awesome.
You can't help it.
Tarot, and speaking of like the divination arts too, I found that studying those things definitely helps you get a handle on the allegoric and the anagogic and gets you out of the literal. So, you know, if you're struggling with that, you know, look at the tarot, look at some other things Michael Tsarion has put out. Really good stuff for that.
Yeah, he's been doing some great work lately. Like he always has. Wow.
Once you go past and you see the allegoric and the anagogic, you find yourself in your own literal, the true literal, where you really create something.
You just got to go around the track until you see everything, and you go, I've already seen that, and then you get back to the point, well, now I can get off the merry-go-round. I've seen everything, so now I can get off. Remember that the judge was saying, this one guy had said about the dictionary, and the judge said, that's the last book you should be looking at. And the judge was absolutely correct and being totally truthful. It is absolutely the first you go to when you're doing this, but it's now, once you understand everything, it is the absolute last book you go to, because they're all predetermined definitions of sounds by another, and this is why you have to decode them. And you don't have to decode every word. You just got to get the concept that every word means its equal and opposite. So have a look at it, and just keep sounding out different ways until you see it. Don't forget, every language matters, so everything that you know about any other language, you know, so that you can do this. You know exactly enough of everything to do this. I promise you.
And you don't have to do anything.
Nope.
Because it doesn't matter, because there is no matter.
Exactly. This gets funnier by the day, guys. It really does.
Oh, shit. I just laugh my fucking ass off all the time.
You know, you look at it and go, whoa, that was so important, but what a waste of time. And it's a perfect waste of time, because it gets you home to the answer. And we got Mark and Chris jumping here, so we got about 19 minutes, so we can rattle off a few more things here tonight. I think tonight we're really driving a lot of the important things home. Most important, guys, and I'll ask if anyone has agreement on this, stop beating yourself up and just breathe, for crying out loud. There are many people here that can help you breathe. So the weight of the world is off your shoulders. We have the key to get out of this. All you got to do is accept the key, and if you need to know how to turn it, that's what we're here to do. And there are hundreds upon hundreds in numerous Skype rooms that we have set up. Book. Everything is there for you guys. Just get in touch with us if you need us. We're doing this together. No one walks alone here. Shoulder to shoulder now. Let's get this shit done.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that was beautiful, Steve.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
My good friend. Very well, thank you.
Excellent.
Something I want to share with you. I just want to share this real quick, guys. To describe the honor in knowing all of you, and how friggin' amazingly awesome you are, and how much of an impact you've had on my life. there are no words to measure this, and I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass. I'm just stating a fact. You know what I'm like? I'm going to tell straight up what I think, when I think it, whether if people agree or not, whether I'm right or wrong, I don't care, but I will speak my heart, and I will never yield from that. But I am most humbly in awe of all of you for being the most beautiful points of perfect light that I always knew you were and know you are. So thank you for being that.
I second that because that's what I said. Go back 18 months or whatever the time frame is. I don't do much time anymore.
About a year to do it.
Kate.
About a year.
Yeah. A year. Listen to Kate and me and Santo and a whole bunch of us talking and ranting and raving about crap. And my God, you people have come on board and you blow my socks off because you've already got your shit out of the bag, you know, and I just opened mine. So I love you all, and thank you so much for helping me in all the ways that you have.
Mir. You know, we do this together, you know. Chris, you're in. Mark, great to hear that you're here. We just Colleen, of course, you're in. And talk away, guys, because I just want to hear beautiful tones from the rest of the symphony.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, how are you?
Hey,
Show. Great words. I don't really have a lot to say, Kate, as you know, because I'm at that point. But I was just looking through my diary and I came across something that I copied from. I wrote it down as he was reading it, Matt Priestley, because I know you mentioned him. And I wrote this down on the 10th of April last year. And just a quick little verse. I just wondered if I could read it out to everybody. Would that be okay?
Oh, no permission needed. This is your table, God. Start acting like it.
All right, okay. Well, it's titled Oneness, but it's coming from Russellian terms. So here we go. There is only one, the one love. This universe is balance. The one matter of substance is light. The one force is electricity. The one cause is desire. The one emotion, which has no opposite, is ecstasy. The one principle is love. The one thinker is the creator. The one thought is the creator's imagination. The one song is the music of the spheres, or the universal symphony. The one time is now. The one savior is you. The one is the other. Find the one in yourself. Know the one in the all.
Easy peasy.
Just wanted to share that.
It's all within yourself. Beautiful. That was beautiful because that's the whole point. It's all within you, and never point a finger outward until you point it inward. And once you point it inward, it never again goes outward.
Aye, nice one, Chris, man. That was nice, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just had not mine, but it was just something I heard, and it resonated then, and I wrote it down, and I haven't looked at it until today, and I thought, oh, forgot about that. And I think you mentioned Matt Priestley and the other guy. I've been following
Robert Otte and Matt Priestley. They're Russellian stuff. And again, I was just going to say there, Chris, I took it to the magnetic level. It's not an electric universe. It's an electrical physical universe, but the cause is the magnetic source. So it's a beautiful unity of time.
It's an update. It's an update. We're always updating, downloading.
Colleen's got the breath going on, baby.
Hello, everyone. It's so beautiful. And I had to come in, too, because I was one of those back 18 months ago with you guys. And but first, I just wanted to tell Steve how beautiful his sharing and what he said about, all of your documents and that the energy of it healed him. And it really is the energy in those documents. And Steve, when you said you heal, then we all heal. Every time one of us brings something here at the table and we share it and it's an aha moment, or we're out and we talk to somebody and they understand and they want to know more, it's healing, and it's coming back to all of us, the healing. So thank you for sharing that. And it is about intent. And interesting, today I was around some veterans, and we're talking about 70, 80, up into 90-year-old World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans. And I had the Babylon is Falling. And these are the die-hard patriots, right? And they are waking up. They are questioning everything. And there was one man there, he was 78, and he said he has not voted.
Yeah.
And he said, it's really hurt his heart. He said what he has come to understand, the truth of all the lies that we have been fed, and they mentioned 9/11. And I gave them copies of Babylon is Falling, and one of them was saying that they don't want anything from the government, but they felt really bad because they said they have to have their Social Security to live on. And that's when I said, you don't have to give that up. You have to be able to live. No one wants anyone to suffer. To take that. And that was the work that they did, their sweat into their work all their lives, and that is theirs to have. And they're calling it entitlement now, and I guess that is a correct word, right, Kate? Entitlement for that, because it is like an owed benefit, but it really isn't a benefit. It's like getting back the money they put in. It was like they put into a savings account for their hard work over all their years.
Let's not make it an account or savings or money. Let's just talk about what it is.
Oh, yes.
The vast majorities of our energy are stolen and transferred into the middleman thing called money. So really what it is, they're getting a pittance of that energy back as an insult. But again, calling it absolutely whatever people, this is why I don't want people beating themselves up trying to figure out this, that, and the other. Listen, when you're ready, you'll know it. You don't need to ask these questions. But in the meantime, take the baby steps and breathe. If it is a government check that you're dependent upon, and that, fine. I don't care. Just know who you are. You break the contract within your soul and self with this system long before any of this other shit gets peeled away. You will not finish this contract until you get it right in your mind. And if there's something that you need that's coming in, fine. But I'll tell you this right now. Once you get to this point, the universe starts taking over. And then you're going to get to a point where the universe takes care of you outside of this and you will not need it. But you've got to be the one to get there and take your time. Don't beat yourself up. Lose the guilt, for Christ's sake. This is not the fucking Roman Catholic way here, okay? Lose the guilt. And so many people have this. It kills me. How many times have I said this over the years, even before?
Yes, you've said this over the years, Kate. Everybody, we are standing the post. Do not worry, just like Lou said. And Kate, you've said this so wonderfully. We stand the post for you. If you want to, and if you feel that you are in a position to, that is fine. But if not, do not worry. Do not worry. That is not what we're about. Yes. We are not about putting pressure on you to be something that you don't have to be.
Or
those of us. But I'll tell you, these guys are pissed. They are pissed of what they're learning of the truth, and you can
then we have to stand stronger, Colleen, because I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to break in. I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you're going to stand your post in a position that I know I am, and I know Kate is, and many, many others, then yes, let them feel whatever they need to. I want them to feel peace. And that is the reason I stand my post, so they can feel peace. I do not want them to struggle and to fight and to feel rejected and all those emotions, because the emotions is not what gets it.
No.
But
let me share,
anyway,
Steve, I was going to say,
go ahead, Kate.
Let me share with the military something that the military boys can understand. Guys, we have your 6. Relax. Your back is covered.
Mm-hmm.
All we're asking now is, we got your back. Just watch ours. Get the truth.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Steve and many of us at the table, I've said this many times, I am built for this fight. I am a perfect design to do what I am doing because I know who I am. I have a role to play. It is my role. Don't be a copycat because you're an original. I got my shit to take care of.
Yeah.
I know who I am.
Thank you.
I know my job, and it ain't yours.
Well, Kate, that's what I did.
They did shit. I didn't do.
I worked with.
I'm sorry, Colleen. Go ahead.
That's okay. And the one guy, you could tell he was pretty shaken, and that's what I told him. No, you collect that, and we don't want. No one wants anyone to suffer. And my piece was, I actually had him sit down. I worked with him with his breath, and had him grounding on the earth, and so he could balance that energy. And that's the piece I bring in.
Exactly. We all have our roles to play here, guys.
Yeah.
It'd be a real boring game if we all played the same game piece.
It would
Can you imagine if everybody on the chessboard was a pawn, or everybody was a queen, or it'd be a boring game.
Yeah.
And that's not to create a hierarchy either. That's just a different point of view, playing a different game piece.
Mm-hmm.
But every one of them, and I don't care how big or menial you might think it is to yourself or others, every one of them is critically important. You take out the flute section in the symphony, and it ain't a symphony. You take out any one of the instruments, and it just doesn't sound the same. And that's how important every one of us is. We all play our own instruments. We all create the symphony. And every one of those notes, every one of those individual points of view, those perfect, absolute, individual sound frequencies that you are, that's the sum of the parts greater than the whole. So just, again, and I'm going back to what Lou was talking about earlier and others, breathe, guys. Just take your time. Take your time. There's no rush here. We've got the game now. This is why I'm breathing, and I haven't breathed this well in 4.5 years, guys. It's been a long walk to get here, but we got the key now. We stay the course, and we keep walking.
Yeah, it's like these, what you were saying there, Colleen. It's like these poor men. They've been used by the war pigs. That's the way I look at it. The war pigs, Black Sabbath, because it's these generals. Do you know what I mean? It's them who cause the wars. And as I said a while back, it's us who fight them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and they're really concerned about the young people today, and they're talking to them, actually telling them, don't do what they did, to really think about what's gone on, the real truth of why they're being sent to, all these places.
Mm-hmm.
Totally
My
agree.
dad, they used to have people come, and young guys that were drafted in Vietnam, and they used to come, their mothers used to have them come to have my dad give them a talk. And years later, I found out that my dad told them that they had to listen to their heart. And many of these kids, where did they go? They went to Canada to fight the draft.
Yeah, we got lots of draft dodgers. Sorry, I don't want to call them draft dodgers. I want to call them heart followers that came north to Canada, and just let everybody know we got 2 minutes left here. So if you're going to share something, be quick, and don't worry, we have tomorrow night where we can all sit around the table again. Shutting up now.
Alrighty. Hi everyone. Good evening.
Hey.
Hi, Alvita.
Hi. Yes, awesome show. Yeah, I hit a lot of points this evening, and everybody's waking up. We're starting to wake up, and more people coming to the table. We see more waking up, and it's just awesome. It makes everybody feel good. Like Steve says, when one heals, we all heal. So I'm feeling good always. Always. Love y'all.
Love you too. Don't worry, guys. We got your 6.
Yes. All of it. 100%.
180, 360. We got it covered. And you are standing in a tour de force. You're not standing alone anymore because you got thousands, if not millions, of shoulders touching, walking the same beautiful, benevolent line. And this is where our collective consciousness becomes the new reality. Guys, I've told you before, and I'm going to keep telling you this, this table is the cutting edge of consciousness. You know, you see the world change as a result of it. How couldn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Come a
long way since last year. Yep.
I'm glad you got my 6.
Great show today, guys.
You got a nice looking ass.
Oh, I didn't hear that, Steve. You were too far away from the mics. Make it quick, because we're going to run out any second here.
I said I'm glad you got my 6 because I heard you had a nice looking ass.
Creation, it's already done. This is the power that you wield. When you stand in truth, it is a very, very powerful wielding of Thor's mighty hammer. Okay? Remember, only those deemed worthy can pick that hammer up. And I see hammers across this planet getting picked up. So very well done, everybody, and I cannot be more grateful. A couple of things I'm just going to go quickly over, then I'll get into reading. Deb, thanks so much for the poem that you sent, and I did post it on Facebook for you. For anyone that wants to see that, if I get a chance, I will read it tonight. Where we go? Okay, I just want to let me see, what have we got? Here we go. This is an email in. I just want to share it's some of the stuff that I get on a daily basis. So I like to pull these things out and share with you guys the realities that are shifting across this planet. This one came in from Gerald. Gerald B., thank you so much, my friend. And yes, I do read the emails, and I do get around to answering them eventually, or I talk about them or read them on air and give my answer there. So I try to get as much done as I can, because I do want people to know that I am here, I am available, I am accessible, because how the hell are you going to get to our table if I can't make myself accessible to make sure that you get there? And that's all that matters to me. I'm just a dot connector. I connect people and I connect concepts. That's all I do. That's my job. I feel like Chicky at the one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy telephone operator, but that's cool. I love doing that because apparently that's one of my spirit tricks, so it's all good. So this one from Gerald. Excuse me. Hi, Kate. We haven't met or talked before, but I thought I'd go ahead and write this anyways. I happened to find your site seemingly by accident. I think I read this one before, but I want to share this with you guys. There's another one as well. Simply because you're the only one I have ever come across that fully understands the key to doing phonetic etymological word splitting. I've been doing work on this process for 2 years now, and it was almost as if an unseen guide kept pushing me in the direction of first word splitting and eventually into the deep etymology and phonetic aspects that are so necessary to finding the deep connections within the language world. I've read some of your writings and intend to go through them all. I'm astounded at how many connections you have shown to the public that exactly match my findings. I only say astounded because, quite frankly, there is really no one else doing this. And a feather in your cap, Gerald, okay, because the fact that you see it means that you see it. This is why I don't claim to be truth and, that was mine, because I don't claim ownership of anything. Why would I claim ownership of something when I'm part of all things? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. And so equally astounded on my part, because when people see this, it is beyond miraculous when they do see that. Now, I could go on with this email. I've already read this before, but I wanted to make sure that people like Gerald and others get their say on the air, whether they tune into the table or not. It is beyond joyous to watch people awake. Guys, you have no idea what it does to me. It's like, it's such a rush. I can hardly wait for tomorrow with this apparent meeting at White School with all the kids that are refusing to answer to the name. This one came in today from Paul, and brand new contact, actually. Dear Kate, I listened to your show on podcast the next day as it starts at midnight here on the Isle of Man. I've seen the Isle of Man from the air, flown over it a few times. My Uncle Ted and Aunt Maureen used to tour over to the Isle of Man every summer on their Heinkel scooters. Yes, Heinkel. You know, the German company that used to make bombers. Anyway, they were really cool scooters. But the Isle of Man I'm very familiar with. Okay, a small island in the middle of the Irish Sea, just above Liverpool in the UK. Yep, gorgeous little island. It's a great place to distribute your writings, as the island is an outpost for the legal financial sector. Yes, it is. And packed with these dead entities in a very small area. Yes, the dead entity ratio to square mile is very, very intense on the Isle of Man. It's not a very big island. So you can just imagine, of course, and it is one of it's more of a holiday island. People use it as a holiday resort to go to, basically the beach away from the beach, right? I've often looked at the Isle of Man as a mini version of Ireland, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, carrying on with Paul's email. I always mused as to why the people around me put little bits of paper before everything else. If you observed them when it came to money matters, it was their god. The more you had, the more. I've also removed quite a few people out of my Facebook. I found a lot of dead accounts, and I also found a lot of dead heads that I just removed because I just don't want to be connected to those that are selling legal remedies and all the rest of it. The list goes on, and I did want to bring up a couple of points about Carl Lentz, Peter Eugene, and a few others. It's nothing personal. They can take it personal all they want. I'm here to get a fucking goat, and if it gets their goat and gets them actually talking, great. Bring it on, bitch. I'm here to play. But the bottom line is this. If you're looking at any truth guru, legal guru, and they're still talking from the perspective of they have a legal name, you're dealing your energy to, lack of a better term, Satan, okay? Because while someone is connected to the system with the legal name, anything you do and associate with them, you're connected to them, therefore in contract, just like a bank manager is a contract with the bank that they're working for and the board of directors. That's how they've been able to connect to steal your home. Remember, you lend the money or the energy, you make a promise to the living entity, which is the bank manager or loans officer. It's sealed with a DNA touch, right? Yeah, everything legal is about forensic. Look it up. I am really just tired of stating facts, and if you can't understand the facts, then you better start just fucking looking it up for yourself. Because I really get tired of people that haven't went through my stuff and haven't really spent the time or any time listening or looking while they're busy creating diatribes, lengthy fucking ego outbursts, all the rest of it, which is just retarded. And other people taking their silly little pot shots, which is funny as hell because it just tells me who you are. Apparently, not that it matters, figure who it was, it said that my work is for the birds. Absolutely it is. That's the EB, the higher mind. Versus, and I love truth because you can pull it out of everything. And, I'd like to thank the reptilian brainstem thinker that sent that. So thank you very much, Reptoid. Enjoy your round trip, merry-go-round. Not that that's something I would do, and I certainly don't wish it upon you, but it looks like you're wishing it on yourself anyway. So what the hell can I do about it? Nothing. Okay. So it's really quite simple. If you are in agreement with someone that has still got a legal name, this is why my contracts are clean right now. I just wipe the board clean, and I do not contract with anyone at all because I don't know where they're at. And remember, gravity falls, trust no one. And it's not a matter of personal trust. It's just simply a matter of completely and only trusting self, because you're the only one at the end of the day you can trust once you get rid of the ego. Because I'll tell you, if you've got an ego, you can't trust yourself either because you're still not dealing with the true essence of you. Okay, so any of these individuals that are professing a legal remedy of any kind, I don't care if they're saying it's a common law remedy, it's this and that and the other. There is no. Let me make it really clear for everybody. Okay, there is no such fucking thing. Legal remedy is the same as the tooth fairy, the Easter bunny, the guy in the red suit jumping down chimneys, and all of the other fictitious things that have come throughout your life to convince you that somehow they're real. Okay, so that's what legal land is all about. Anyone that is selling any form of, quote, legal remedy, unquote, is no better and no different than a fucking lawyer. They charge for keeping people in the illusion. So tell me what's different about someone that's selling remedy. It's nonsense. Snake oil salesman. Just demonic. And of course, this rattles the cages of those that are still looking to suck off the Cronus and mow down on the old saggy, gray, poison, pus-filled tits of the whore of Babylon. Drink your fill. The advice was quite clear to me. Get out of her, my children. Get out of Babylon. And the only thing keeping you attached to Babylon is the legal name. That's it. And that's why I'm going to be reading Babylon Has Fallen very shortly here. So I'll give you a little bit of a countdown. So if you are recording, and I will do my best to keep it as pure as I can, as far, for video editing purposes. So, and again, thanks guys for all the work you're doing. We've got Babylon Has Fallen in so many languages now. Some of them, from some feedback, will need tweak, but that's, what, it doesn't matter. It's a simple fact that you know what this stuff is, and that it's getting out there, and every language it gets translated into affects the entire consciousness of that language upon sending anywhere, right? Upon its Luciferian aspect of saying, you're God, and I am part of. I am not separate from. You see, when you think of yourself as separate from, that whole essence of individualization compartmentalizes you away from the reality of all in one in all. So I merely accept all things, stand in universal truth, and move forward. Universe delivers accordingly. And no, it's not an easy place to stand at first, but I tell you, once you stand there for a little bit and you see the magic, there's nowhere else you'd want to be. It doesn't matter whatever trials and tribulations come your way, because you know you can handle it. And the biggest joke about that is the bad shit just stops happening. Shields up, and it's really this simple. So, excuse me, for anyone that is concerned about anything regarding court, it's all a joke. And I really wish some people would get this, especially the high profilers. Excuse me, I will say this. I got word that Mark Stevens, a man who I have long admired for his work and his dauntless fearlessness, and just getting right down to the nitty gritty logic and everything else, is no longer promoting any form of legal remedy. It seems to me the man is right on the ball as usual. And like I said, I've had so many people that have fallen off in recent, people like Arthur Christian and so on. I find it disappointing that these people, in their supposed brilliance and intelligence, miss the most basic thing. I guess they forgot that they're a spiritual essence. I guess they've never been to a funeral to see an empty cocoon that doesn't have spiritual essence in it to know the difference. That you are either a meat stick or a spirit. I mean, that's a good example of, if you want to really observe it. And for those that, may not have a funeral to go to, well, head down to the local funeral and get a visual on what a cocoon looks like without a driver in it. You're the driver. You're the power of it. You see, and the other thing about these dark principality aspects is these death lovers, death eaters, death givers. That's all they do. That's all they know. It's death and destruction. The only way they can survive is by getting the consent of those that can provide all the energy they need. That is the living soul, or the living essence of the true life consciousness, which, for lack of a better word, the aspect of creation, himself, herself, itself. Right? So, excuse me, if you go back to the movie The Matrix, when Neo, you remember the scene where Neo stood up out of that gelatinous shit that he was floating around in, completely asleep with all the tubes in him. What you're doing when you lose the legal name is that's the moment that you're pulling all of the lines that are sucking the life out of you and feeding on you. That's the instant you pull them out. And what's really hard for people to understand, or even never mind understand, but to actually believe, and then get to the point of knowing. See, that I know this, and there are many others that know this too. And
hello all. I don't know if you can hear Kate. I can't at the moment, and I hope we do. See if any other mics are open. Okay, aloha all. Thanks for tuning into the Emerald Table.
Okay, hey, there you go. Sorry, I got bounced there, Mike. That's why I unmuted your microphone. So let me just finish off my little rant here, and then I'm going to read Babylon Has Fallen for video editing purpose, and then we're going to go to town on this to really drive this point home. I've got a few emails I want to share as well, so we'll do that tonight as well. Cool with you?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay. Yeah, if you hear me drop off, I'm going to be displaying a lot of truth tonight, so expect a little bit of interference from the energies. I'll just keep it centered so it doesn't happen, but there you go. If you don't hear me, if I suddenly stop talking, then just jump in and have some fun. But in the meantime, let's get back to the whole Neo and the Matrix, unplugging yourself from the Matrix. See, that is a physical allegory of the spiritual reality. You see, while you think, excuse me, while you think in a physical sense, you will never understand it. People will talk about, well, they're stealing my energy through money and taxing and all the rest of it. Yes, that's the physical effect of your spiritual ignorance. And the only reason that they can get away with it is because you're letting them. And the contract hinges on one thing and one thing only. It hinges on the name. It goes back to the Narmer palette.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box here on Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world, Sunday afternoon. Well, let's just say at any given point during the day, it's noon somewhere on the planet. So it's always noon, and it's always exactly right now. I don't care what time you have. Anyway, thanks for joining us here at the Emerald Table at criticalmassradio.co.uk. Inside box, yours truly, Kate of Gaia. Thanks again last night for Ninja and Paul and everybody that jumped in on the call. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to listen to it today, nor was I able to dial it in last night. It was just a bit noisy where I was. Well, we'll just leave it at that. I'll have a chance to listen back. And, of course, great job all around by everybody, as always. So, where are we going to go tonight? We've got a few things that I want to discuss. I'm going to, and don't worry, guys, I'll give you plenty of heads up regarding Babylon Has Fallen, which we read strictly and specifically for video editing. So I'll give you plenty of time. As I understand it, someone's going to be recording it on the fly so that it's ready to go. I will do my best to keep it nice and concise, give you this breathing room between the paragraphs, and read it slower than I would normally read it, just because I do have a tendency of reading quickly. That being said, I got to tell you, it's like the universe has taken a huge constipated dump with all the shitiots and shills and idiots coming out of the woodwork. Just when you think, that's exactly when you go, wait a minute, okay, more purging. Apparently, according to someone's incredible intuition that and gut instinct and contemplate. 3 years ago, apparently, I am an intel agent. Well, yeah, it's intel inside. The kingdom of heaven is within, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, Arthur Christian, you really just need to grow up a little bit, my friend. If you're digging a nice big hole for yourself. I think if there was any respect I had left for you, it left with that comment. And when you start talking about your ancestors are telling you, buddy, stop listening to fucking dead people. Okay, that's your problem. It's called program. But anyway, Arthur and Fiona into their little delusions, and that's okay. Much love to them anyway. It's fine, by the way, if anyone wants to hijack what would be deemed my work and make it theirs, because that's exactly what I want. You see, truth is not for sale. It is certainly not for taking credit for. It is not for claiming as yours and getting all fucking ego offended because someone took the truth and made it theirs and I told you moron. That's the whole point of this, right? And this is exactly why humanity has been dumbed down for so long, because this kind of shit's been going on. And up until not that long ago, I was part of that as well. To a greater or lesser degree, it doesn't really matter. It's upon the realization that you have been running inside a program, and then when it finally really kicks in and clicks in, and you understand the separation of the ego from you, and it really is profound, and until you see it for yourself, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is why we talk about the same things and keep it going every single night to get this through. The simplest spot, the ego, is emotional reaction to things, right? So, excuse me, Fluffy's not in the mood tonight. I got to tell you, she's been shot a whole lot of backbones. Apparently, some of these people are spineless out there now, and Fluffy's just she's just not interested. She's if I listen to her outright, I think the woofing that she was doing was regarded. She's tired of eating asshole all the time. So there you go. See, she does bark. But anyway, it's all good. Funny how that works. Almost like the universe is talking through us, right? Because it is. But anyway, so that's the Arthur digging myself a great big crater in the universe. Mr. Christian, of course he's a mutineer. Mutiny on the bounty. Well, buddy, get back on the real bounty, because anyone that's still looking at New World Order and they're going to kill you and all the rest of it has still got their head so far up their egotistical ass. Sorry, buddy, that's the wrong Uranus you're looking at. Uranus is in the higher heaven, not where you're sticking yours. But anyway, it's all good. No harm, no foul. And you see, the whole thing is, I think it was about a month and a half ago, I specifically said I'm going out to get goats. I'm out to get people's goats, and I'll tell you, they're going to come out of the woodwork and hate me or love me. I don't give a shit. You get to the table, because I'll tell you, if someone bitches enough about me, they're going to come and have a look at the work that we're doing, and they'll see it for themselves. And if they don't, that's not my problem. It's there, and it's a really simple thing. See, this is a problem with this truth and all truth. When you really get down to the nitty gritty, the question that you will ask yourselves is, how could it be so simple that everything is completely and solely tied, and I mean solely, literally, to the legal name? That if we consent to be that, we're allowing all the vampires and werewolves, quite literally, into our reality. The allegory is quite simple. Imagine your soul, you, the infinite essence of you. Soul's not even really a good word for it, but you know what I mean by when I say that true essence of you. Imagine you are that beautiful, infinite, all-knowing computer. Everything that you have and can create is within this beautiful essence of you. We'll make it a computer so you can kind of put it in the physical sense. And that computer is password protected. It also has a backdoor password, but you didn't know it. You see, the true password, the true name, is that frequency, that very high-pitched frequency. When you get into the stillness, the deep, dark, get quiet, when you get into that headspace, you will actually hear your name. That frequency is the unspeakable name of God, or the little spark of the all-spark that we all are. That's why the name of God is unspeakable. You cannot say it. It's physically impossible for the human body to hit that frequency. The vocal cords just can't do it. Frequency is so high you wouldn't hear it anyway. So imagine that's your real name. And what's happened is that name, the real name of you, that no one can know or no one can hear, and you can't say it, has been usurped with a legal name, which has become the backdoor password to your soul. And every time you give that name out or accept consent to being it, you've said, here's my password, drain me. And this is so unbelievably simple. This is the hardest part about what we do at this table every single night. This truth is so incredibly simple, so easy, and is so incredibly unbelievable because of that. When you get outside of the box, and I'm talking the physical meat stick reality that people like Arthur Christian and so many others are still stuck in, looking for the gimmies, the bonds and the trusts and the funds and all the rest of that monetary lure that has their soul baited and buried. When you get outside of that and you start looking at it from an anagogic, or for lack of a better word, spiritual perspective, the essence of you looking at it, the pure cause that you are. When you start understanding what's really going on a much higher level, remember, as above, so below. The fact that you are a thinking, sentient being with that frequency going off says that you are essence, life itself. And life itself is the only thing that can see death itself, and that's what this consciousness, these dark entity aspects are. They're death. That's why they deal in death. That's why they love death. They love slaughtering animals. They love slaughtering each other. They love watching humanity slaughter itself. And they invoke it all the time. and that, of course, that's all ingrained in the emotional program called the ego. If you can get people riled up enough to follow this flag or that flag, basically cloth that's not worthy to wipe my ass with, it's just a fucking rag, and people swear allegiance to a rag. Okay, seriously. Oh, head across your chest, and yeah, give up your soul, you moron. Better yet, go to the places where the Baal priests love to worship. You probably know them as the Roman Church, and I don't care what church, synagogue, or mosque you are in on this planet, or whatever denomination. You know what mine is, right? Denomination. That's why it's called a denomination. You're all serving the dark principality because everything is being taught backwards here. So you are serving the physical master, the